anything?
We had a demonstration, and we had a little cause of injustice, and we didn't see a lot of the black communities and the other communities stand beside us. So we thought, all right, cool. Is it us cutting away from people? Or is it? So that's why me and a couple of brothers, we came together. We said, what can we change, and what can it be? And then I thought, you know what, speak to Raven, see if I can see, you know, as an older brother, I see the movement that he does, and sometimes a bit of guidance. You know, sometimes it's necessary. You know, when brothers and older brothers and cousins and, as I say, just talk. So that's my thoughts. Okay.
Right.
Khaled, by the way.
Well, so we're not recording you, are we, bro?
No, you're not.
So what
okay.
do you want to sit down, bro? Where's the brother here? This brother.
He's not. He's probably
No?
just camera shy.
Oh, fair enough.
Like Raven, guide us.
Raven, do you mind? All right, before the camera, that's how I'm gonna start off with. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. You should.
then-
You should. Yeah.
No, but look, but let it be more focused on how communities should solve conflict. Like what are good methods in solving conflict? Make it more focused on that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And then I ask you.
Like how us as a community can solve conflict.
What
Current
are the
conflict,
conflicts?
future conflict, just conflicts in general.
What conflicts are we facing though? First,
Whatever
talk
that conflict is, of course we're facing conflict.
yeah, but give examples of the conflicts and then we can talk about how we can resolve
Knife
them, right?
crime,
Knife
these
crime,
things that affects us,
people on
and
the
then back
street,
home, and just he wants an
Country,
insight.
whatever, the whole shebang.
shebang.
No, I'm just making it clear, you know, let's make it clear.
Yeah, so we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, what's the best way of dealing with conflict?
Like how are Somali people ready to be helped at the same time?
And that's what I'm gonna
That's the
ask.
question.
Yeah.
Because
How we can
Help ourselves and be helped.
Help
and see
ourselves,
what
help
the
I
integration.
know people from Rwanda, yeah?
Rwanda, yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan. They're ready to be helped, you know what I'm saying?
And that's a good example. You know
They're
what, brother?
ready,
Yeah.
They're ready to be helped.
So
And
you
they-
Rwanda?
What do you mean by
that's
that?
it. No,
Wait,
like,
make it
that's not the
closer.
same people. They are farmers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are farmers. So like they are not
Tell me Mark had done it,
same
didn't it?
way. You have people, country farmers,
Yeah.
peaceful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they went for a genocide,
and
like
then-
2 million genocide.
I know,
I know, then-
but like, you know, like genocide, it's not the farmers that start the genocide, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's warriors. But like, what I'm saying is like, you have people like, that are ready to be helped, and people are not ready to be helped. They're not ready, they don't want to be helped.
that what
They're
you
just, they're not looking for help at all. They just want their way to do. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna do it. Fuck everybody else. That's the way I'm an orphan, so I can, you know, I can be like this as well. I can be, you know, shit for me. Are you an orphan? You ain't shit to me. You know what I'm saying? Are you what are you? I don't care. Like, you have to be ready to be helped. That's the first shit to do.
So what you're
If
saying
you
is
are
the
ready to
first
be-
step is
if you're ready
know
to
that
be-
you want to
if
be
you are
helped.
ready to be it can clear away everything. When you are ready to be helped, it can clear away. I could be just like, you know, people of my category, they just go out and kill everybody. They kill everybody. In Senegal, they do. You know what I'm saying? That's how they end up. But like, if you're ready to be helped, what's your mentality?
what's the issues in Senegal?
Right now,
Is it
it's
tribe?
petrol.
Huh?
Petrol. Yeah, petrol. Because like we discovered 15 trillion of gas, and the British government is taking it, and you know, like they're transforming. They're just transforming it, and they're making it their own. So that's a problem now. With people just like protecting in the street, just destroying everything.
15 trillion, did you say?
15 trillion. Like we're gonna be like one of the biggest.
15 trillion. You know there's only 4 trillion in the world in terms of circulation. Wealth.
Of gas, of how do you say in English? Fuck it.
Revenue.
Meters.
Yeah.
Cubes, you're cubes.
Meters cubes.
Okay,
Meters cubes of gas, natural gas. 15 trillion of meters cubes in gas.
That'll make you a very rich country.
Yeah, but I think, like, you know, brother, that's like the whole Africa, like I was saying to brother Raven, you know, you were speaking earlier, certain countries in the West are taking 5 billion in colonium tax.
Yeah.
See, earlier we were talking about. So, and then 5,000 of our units, you know what, because I always say, yeah, I think Africa gives aid to the West. I don't think it's the other way around. I'll say that wallahi, because countries like Congo, I've got a good friend of mine, and we always speak, he told me countries like Congo can't be the poorest nation and the richest nation in resources at the same time. It doesn't make sense. To me, you can't say 5,000 of our unit, but it's only worth
You know what they eat, Congo people? They eat the monkey.
It's about eating one.
They eat the monkey in the Congo, my friend. That's it fucking up your brain, bro. If you eat the monkey, it's killing you. If you eat the monkey, it's killing you, bro.
I think it's
yes.
I think it's more than eating the monkey.
Yeah, okay, but like the way of the kind of meat you eat, it's killing your brain, bro. Because like like in Sudan, they're eating elephants, they're eating all these these massive animals that never sleep. So they're always there. They're eating animals that don't sleep. They're eating elephants. They're eating giraffes. They're eating all the meat. They're eating all the meat that is never sleeping. They're eating animals that don't sleep, so they don't sleep.
No,
and
my friend. Listen.
I'm telling you.
My friend. That means please in French. Yeah. Listen, brother. What I'm saying is, I think you took that to Mexico right now, yeah. To that conversation there. Look, I'm saying, look, look, we got the resources in Africa right now, yeah.
We need leaders.
It just doesn't like Congo and places like this in Sierra Leone. You're taking like millions and millions, and you're a Western country, and you've already admitted slavery was wrong. We already it's fucked up in the museums. All our stuff's over there. And on the same time, he's still taking colonialism tax till now. And I'm hearing a Pan-African economist, young German lady. She's African, one of the sisters from Germany. I was watching her thing, and she's like, "There's 500 million, billions and billions each year going into the French economy, this economy, that economy."
Yeah.
So how as Africans, as we as people, like I'm saying right now, like especially with my Somali diaspora community, we've got certain issues around the world, home and abroad, and it's affecting us. And it's affecting us big.
And then today, we're going to see
see.
if we can start a solution for those things, right?
And that's why I wanted to
It is grassroots. It has to be grassroots, and that's a start. And hopefully, I can highlight certain powers that you might not know you have.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, like a year and a half ago, I started watching Speaker's Corner. To be honest, there, I was back home. I was in Africa, a couple of countries, and started watching this. Came back, and I thought, you know what, this is a little platform that's alright to speak on, freedom of speech. And then I started noticing, guiding the new generation, and I got really inspired by the video that I saw in Tottenham. I thought to myself, oh my God, these brothers actually came to the hood where I'm from, spoke, and so got back key issues that are affecting us. Right now, alright, there's certain things going back home, but I live in London right now. I'm seeing some atrocious things. And the other day, I'm seeing, I don't even want to mention it, but it's gone to a situation where is it lack of identity, or is it...
Here's what I want to do. Before we start filming, I want us to...
Oh, we ain't even rolled yet.
Oh shit.
No. I don't want anything that can undermine the...
It's alright, man. No problem.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
No, it's
that's
cool,
fine,
man. No
fine.
problem. Just keep it rolling, innit?
That's cool. Alright, well, you can ask questions, innit? Well, cool. So, before we start, this is like a solution circle, alright? And what we're doing, we get brothers together to discuss solutions. And one of the solutions that brothers brought up is Somali unity. Yeah, and you say you recognise that from the bigger black collective, that you've noticed that there's movements that's getting together, but you recognise that the Somali people, they need to have a particular unity to deal with homegrown issues that has yet to be fixed, right? And you're reaching out, going, what would you recommend in order to find these kind of solutions, right? What practices? So do you want to start your thing?
Basically, what is Raven? Like I said, like off camera, when we were talking earlier, I said, I started watching Speaker Corner a year and a half ago during my travels around back home in Africa, onto a couple of continents, and I started noticing a lot of content that comes out on COE and Speaker's Corner, and then one particular group that I noticed that I loved and I got inspired by was guiding a new generation, where you lot came to my area in Tottenham when there was a little accident, and unfortunately one of our sisters got lost. Another sad issue that I want to highlight. So I thought to myself, I started thinking to myself, okay, and in the last couple of the recent month and a half, there's been a lot's been happening in the Somali community.
Yes.
And it's gone to a situation where I feel like my generation and generations like Abdulghani and us and my brother Ali over here, I've always speaking, and it's starting to really, enough's enough. starting to happen. Just it's enough. Like we're seeing brothers dying over no reason. I'm seeing madnesses like where the other day I saw brothers like we're burying one of our young kings, and all of our young kings are trying to stab us. I see sisters beating up moms all over the internet, and it's starting to get a bit.
Right.
And then with the other issue, with a lot of help with COE, highlighted a good thing. Big up to my brother Leon the other day about the video with Justice for Shukri Abdi, where then that's when I started realising other communities have got a lot in place that we don't. And working with other brothers and sisters I found a bit difficult, and I was just wondering how, when you're organising something, and sometimes it's always, you know, with me, I'm not one of them people that's ashamed to ask for advice or help, because we are human beings.
Well, we all should,
you know what I'm saying? I thought to myself, speak to Raven, speak to brother Ali. We got interesting brother about some Pan-Africanism that we were speaking to about earlier on. I don't quite know your name, but nice to meet you, Jesse Khalid. And we just thought us brothers come to Raven, as you know, he's a wise figure, always keeping the. So I just thought, you know, get some tips.
Right.
You know?
So I think what you have to establish is like, what are you finding problematic? So first you start like, what is it that we're trying to do? And when we try to do it, what do we find problematic? What is a challenge that keep reappearing? Have you identified that?
You guys wanna?
Can you read the question? Sorry.
So obviously people come together for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Now, you establish a purpose, you go to execute that purpose. But then as you're trying to do it, you're finding shortcomings, you're finding things that make it very difficult to actually achieve that. So once you do that, you have to list that, because then every time there's a challenge, you have to pull it back, review it, and come up with a solution. Now, from what I remember you telling me, that one of the problems you might face is when it comes to getting the Somali people together, you might get together for a week or so, but then they start becoming either interested, or there starts to be like slight arguments about certain things that you might deem as superficial. I don't know. Am I rightly, wrongly?
Yeah, sometimes it gets. I'd say I don't know. And I speak to my two Somali brothers about this. I say sometimes tribalism, egos.
You can't agree on things.
You can't agree on things, and like, you know,
Okay, so
sometimes you are.
okay,
I say like
okay.
mainly one of our big issues sometimes is people are like, I don't know. To me, tribalism is not really an issue. Like I said, I grew up in Tottenham, not in the UK.
Tribalism's not an issue in the UK.
I've never
it's more
think it's
geopolitical, Somali, based in Somalia, not in the UK though, man.
Not in the UK. So what would you say the problem in the UK is, then, Abdul, if you don't mind asking?
From my point of view,
Drop it, Ali. Drop it,
my
bro.
point of view, I think it's more of an identity issue. Innit? That's how it's perceived to me. I feel like the Somalis that came, like us that us lot that came to the West, I feel like we're adopting another culture that we're not a part of. I don't know why, for whatever reason, but I feel like that seems to be the issue, and we're acting like something we're not.
Would you say
I don't know why.
the other culture that they're adopting is not the Somali culture, but the black culture?
Yeah,
broadly?
that basically. And
Okay.
I'm trying to understand why are we making, out of all the cultures, why did we choose this culture?
Okay.
You understand?
What
And
is
I
the
feel
black
like-
culture?
So maybe.
I'd say I kind of disagree with that. I would like to ask, what is the Somali identity nowadays?
Okay, that's
Because
a good
really,
question.
truthfully, you can't say it's this way or that way, because what we're doing back home and what we're doing to each other ain't really, realistically, if we look at it, ain't really from a Muslim, it ain't really Muslim, it ain't nothing Islamic to it. You get where I'm coming from? So, right now, the question I say is, do we have our identity? Are we that type of people where I feel like I don't really give a fuck what people say about, okay, you're not black, you're not Arab, you're not. I am Somali. I believe in Somali Nimud, you know, you get where I'm coming from, yeah? And I think this helps in growing up in Tottenham, growing up in a multicultural society where, like, you're from North, you're a North brother as well, you're part of North as well, innit? So it's like, when I grew up, to me I think it's a lack of cohesion, something in our language, I say, Nahrista Nagatagi, from my non-speaking Somali, is to care for each other, has left us, I think. Because back in the day, I think there was love, you know, when we were in smaller numbers where we used to come together. It's when the mass sort of came, and then it became more of a competitive, and you get where I'm coming from, don't let, always try to compete with Thingy's son or Thingy's daughter, where you're not looking at your kid individually as an individual. That's how I think, like, and like I always say, I keep reminding people, we are a refugee community. We only come here late 80s and early 90s, and mass numbers of us.
Yeah.
Forget that the people say, oh, they will see, but the mass majority of influx, and we are, us three are that type of generation that came along them lines.
20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah, so it's 25 years ago. I like Raven. It is kind of new for big for a community that wasn't worldly, world reliant. No, we weren't. After, only a lot of people. If you ask them, what do you know about Somalia? War.
Well, yeah.
Tribalism. Or they divided Somaliland, this, that, and that, and these lot really don't like it. Or 1991, I watched a film called Black Hawk Down.
Basically, we left one civil war and we made another civil war here. I don't know what it is.
And you know what? He made a good point, yeah? Like, if you ask a Somali person, what's your identity? The things that would spring to mind is, tribalism, but beyond that, not much. Okay, religion. Islam and tribalism, but that's literally that's the common response you get if you ask the average Somali person. So it's like, it goes back to what you're saying, yeah. We need to kind of like discover who we are. We need to discover our identity. And you know what as well, yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, right? If we're saying, why do we lose our identity, or what happened to our identity? Maybe I get what you're saying. Have we been following the black culture too much to the point where we've completely whitewashed our own identity?
Right. Why would you just say the black culture? Like, I feel like the Arab
I'm saying,
culture
look, I'll give an example.
Like, you know what?
Yeah, true.
Like, there's a lot of cultures that Somalis adapt more.
Fair enough. I'll give an example. I'll give an example. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, like, this is what I kind of think as well at the same time, yeah? Like, for example, when you listen to music, right?
Yeah.
Like drill music and these kinds of music, they're like black music. But do Somalis need to develop? It doesn't have to be, you have to turn to religion. But do Somalis, for example, need to kind of create their own kind of genre of music? To kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like, because the music scene, the urban scene, that's kind of like, that's black, that's grime. That's the association you get, right? But do Somalis need to develop their own kind of genre of music, which would help them strengthen their own identity? That's just the question I'm asking.
Somali grime artist. I don't really like getting sucked into this argument with the whole drill.
I'm asking a question.
I've heard this argument a couple of times. Drill music was. Why is everything always down to the music?
That's just my association, innit? You know what I mean? You can try and say it's wrong, etc., but that's just the feeling I have, innit?
You can jump in, bro.
Like, in regards, you know how you're talking about creating your own genre?
Yeah, I did say that.
Right? First you got like you were talking about how there's a lack of, let's say, identity within the Somali community. So when it comes to music, you gotta have an identity of your culture first before you create your own music.
Thank you.
So think about it this way. Like, again, you're basically talking about how
we're gonna get this.
Because to be honest, when I think Somali, I can't really think of anything. Honestly, I would go as far as to say, in all honesty, opinion, the only thing I can think of as Somalian is other Somalis I've met, and the film Captain Phillips. I'm just keeping.
And Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
And just war.
Keep it 100. So
and just war, and then
when you really look at it, based on what the narrative of what's being presented, it's very negative.
Thank you.
And I don't think I clocked onto that because I know there's certain like communities, like Somali communities, like in Battersea where I live, there's a Somali community there and that. So really, it's before you can even start considering building or creating your own stuff, you have to find your identity.
You have to understand who you are.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I think you see something that you elaborated on earlier is like finding your own identity in it. Yeah? Just how you said, when I said to you earlier, and I feel like a lot of the youth nowadays, you always run away from negative. If you keep hearing something that's negative, you run away from it naturally. You don't want to be associated with something. Exactly. And like you said, as someone that's a non-Somali person, and I said this earlier, it's when I speak to I got a lot of non-Somali. I grew up in, like I said, Tottenham, where it's multicultural, one of the most multicultural. You give me, but I support Arsenal. You know, it's a bit ironic, isn't it? That's a bit too much, man. And listen to this here. Like I was saying, so brother, I feel like what you're saying is right. Like what is it? Like my non-Somali friends, when I speak to them, they don't know man's got cave art, paintings that date back to 10,000 years old, 7,000 years old.
So there's a rich
history of what we used to be. And when you're saying us, we adapt other cultures. I think the same thing when it comes to the Arab culture.
Yeah,
and I
okay,
agree with Evelyn. Look, Arab is my religion. Islam is my way of life, yeah. But I'm saying there's certain things that we've adopted, Ali, like we were talking about earlier, that I feel like, alright, I think that's what's created a lack of identity. Because like a lot of my parents used to tell me, before in the 70s, 60s, a lot of us used to never wear certain things. It used to be a lot different. We used to wear like a lot of ancient, traditional garments. We used to have the afros. It used to be a lot. I'm not saying mashallah, like everyone should go, like, don't get it. Certain people are gonna be like, okay, I don't get what you're saying, but I'm saying there's certain things that we've adapted from all angles. Whether you look at it,
our culture? Has that affected
I think it's made us lost, and whether you've pushed us into things where we became refugees, we're in our own country where we destroyed. This is a thing we like to blame other people. Ali, me and you always
blaming no one,
no, me and Ali. No, we're just look.
Yeah.
I understand the bigger picture, bro. No, I'm not trying to blame no one. I'm trying to say one thing is we have destroyed. Civil war. You know what civil war? Meaning of civil war is civil. We're killing it. We're not fighting no one else. This is the bit I'm trying to say. You get where I'm coming from? And like, brother here was talking about something about Rwanda. Rwanda's a big example of how I look at it, yeah? Rwanda, 2 million people cut each other to pieces. And these are two different ethnic tribes. With us, we all look alike. I don't mean no disrespect. The Hutsis and Tutsis look different. Certain of them look like me. Like I said, I've met Rwandans that look like me, and I'm like, raw, alright, cool. Like I'm saying, if them lot got over it, and I spoke to a Rwanda, and you know what Rwanda told me? We had something called therapy. Where our nation did, civil war, and kids from now what grew up in the 90s, this is what a lot of us diaspora kids forget as well, yeah? There's kids that grew up in certain parts of Mogadishu from 1991 till now have known nothing but chaos. And what are these people likely to join? Certain, I don't want to give them an airtime, because these men are ravenously fucking up my country that I hate. And people are gonna be like, oh, you got a Somaliland team, what are you talking about here? And this is another, and this is the thing I say, yeah, look, I believe in have your tribe, but fuck your tribalism. And I say this, قبيل خالد شعلو وقيب يالتا أنا وصل. You understand where I'm coming from, my chi, and that made you laugh there, Ali. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like this is what I'm saying. Our identity is mixed so much that we don't know. I like, and it's like there's like obviously like I'm fortunate enough to have my grandma around till now, innit, yeah. And that's like she gives me the little ancient history of what we used to, them ones. It's past now, how us Africans are. We've never had shit written down. That's why certain people manipulated our stuff, told us you're this, you're that, you lot used to kill each other, you lot animals. Because these lot were writing things down while we weren't. Or what we written down got destroyed and buried. You get where I'm coming from? So we can't, you could go to a museum in England where you see like someone who wrote something 500 years ago. All our shit. Just, you understand the bigger picture I'm coming from, bro, innit? Yeah, big man. So it's gone to a situation I feel like I don't even think we have an identity. Me personally, apart from Islam. And mashallah, alhamdulillah.
Well, I disagree. I think you do have an identity, you just need to piece back together. And right now, you're people scattered, right? And you find yourself in London. So it starts here. So because you are here and you're trying to make a change here.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, try to find the challenge. I think the first challenge you spoke about was people couldn't agree. So the question is, agree on what? What is it you're trying to do that people disagree on?
I'll comment.
Right.
The whole identity thing, yeah? Is Somalia ready to accept different identities? When you talk about identity, you have to understand that you got people in the north, coastal, this guy.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. You know what I mean? Is Somalia ready to are you ready to work with people that have different identity, and are you ready to accept them? That's why I would say we can't agree. The reason why we can't agree, this guy's from here, I'm from here, and we can't agree for whatever reason.
But here's why it's like this, yeah? Look at the Rasta movement, right? The Rasta movement was a movement that happened in Jamaica, right? Right, and so it's predominantly at first it was Jamaicans, and they knew they were from Africa, and they're looking back to Africa, and they're looking at certain things that was done in Ethiopia and East, and then they adapted, and then they formed something that's pretty brand new, and then after that, it then influenced other people back in Ethiopia and in Kenya and other places to then continue that, right? So you find yourselves as a Somali community in London. So what it might mean is you guys might need to do that. Start looking piece things together and finding new ways of existing that represent the Somali community in London. And no doubt, here's what I foresee happening. You will influence the people in Canada, the Somali community in Canada, and the Somali community in America, and then you're going to form this diaspora kind of movement. And then that in turn, yeah, well then it influenced the motherland, the Somali, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but it comes with you guys, but you have to establish what you're trying to do, yeah? Now, when you talk about do your own kind of music, you got to think of how people actually like add on. Every single music borrows some other music and it adds to the next piece, right? So when you look at, say, grime music took a piece from garage, hip hop, yeah? If you look at the history of garage came from Chicago, the black community in Chicago. Hip hop came from New York, right, the Bronx and stuff, right? And then the grime was the Bowls representation, then they came to South and the rest of it, right?
I think Somalia, their music is more discotheque. We had
we got our own music. We got our own music. We got
No, in the UK.
we got Somali music. We've got someone like you.
Somali, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't really listen to it. But we've got grime artists.
Yeah.
We've got our own music of our own language.
In
Yeah.
Somalia, they speak Somali.
They speak Somali.
kind of.
All right. Well, so
The
what I'm
grime
saying
music is stuff, I don't
yeah.
know.
So, but remember, a music represents an experience, right? So, if you guys are saying that a lot of you were refugees that came back from a very harsh time, then when you this could be represented in your music. You know, talk about, because many people haven't gone through that kind of civil war situation, and there's a lot to say. Like when you look at, say, people from, say, America or Jamaica, they're talking about their environment that was riddled with crack cocaine and so forth, and how they reacted to it, right? Rightly or wrongly. They're not rapping about teddy bears because they never had any teddy bears. But we look at their struggle and we're interested by it, right? So I say, if you have gone through these hardships, as in, you know, some people, they're refugees, that they came over, their parents are still there, they lost their parents in the war, and they've had to like come and live with their auntie or uncle here, and they're trying. Yeah, they're trying to.
There's a lot of.
There's
There's a lot of. I've seen like brothers and sisters that came through their aunties and uncles that were left there by themselves as well. And I totally agree with you, Raven. It is about time where you do. But then again, we've got a problem of cohesion amongst our own, where it's, and I see it with the black community as well. I think it's other communities as well where we're not really cohesive as you know, that, like for example, like the Jewish community. Like I'm saying, I go past Stamford Hill. Sometimes I play chess with a rabbi, and I see them man there. I'm not gonna lie to you, their community is tough. Then no one else could ever penetrate, like break up that unit there where it's 10 families look after one kid and put them through, and it's gone to a situation where how can we, as not just even a Somali community, as a collective, because you know this knife crime is affecting all of us as well. Like you proposed like a school earlier, you were talking about the Pan-African school system.
Like the thing is we gotta understand, like collectively, why is it that we're not together? Right? First off, like you said, Somalians don't have an identity. How can you be together when
you got identity crisis?
You have an identity crisis. So like you were saying with the grime, you know, basically saying that, you know, what about taking on other cultures or something of that nature, right? That's a problem. Yeah. Because I'm not saying you can or cannot do it. Obviously, everyone takes bits from there. We live in a multicultural city, right? Yeah. But the thing is the more and more you go to other cultures, the more and more harder it is to basically find yourself. You understand? True. So when that comes in with the Somali community as well, is if we don't know ourselves, what happens? We start hating ourselves.
Thank you.
Because we don't know who we are, so we get confused, we get emotional, we get angry about who we truly are.
Thank you.
So when we see another Somali person, or we see another Trinidadian, or we see another Canadian or Barbadian, and we look at them and we're like, we don't know who they are, so we're gonna be angry towards them, we're gonna act out against them. You understand? So you gotta understand yourself first, because as they say, without knowledge you will suffer. So you have to have knowledge of yourself, and once you have knowledge of yourself, then you could understand what your culture is. And then the thing is some people are actually doing that job for you. This is what people don't realize. White Europeans have a tendency to, they want to explore everything. Yeah. What you might notice from white Europeans, credit to them, is they're uncovering secrets about us. Yeah. You understand about, like, for example, you know about Lucy. Things of that nature. In a way, it's either, there's two ways it could happen, right? I think eventually you're gonna find your identity either way. The Europeans are going all over the world trying to find all the secrets. It's gonna come out eventually. Or it's basically on Somali's back to do it themselves. Right? So when you really look at it, that is really why you're not together, because you have self-hate because of lack of self-identification and culture.
I agree with that 100.
Here's how you got to look at it, right? Here's how you got to look at it. Is when you look, like, I'll give you an example, the Chinese, right? You don't see Chinese stabbing and killing each other in London. Why is that? Because they've got their religion, they got their own economic system, they know where they're from, and their family structure is strong. And the way you know the family structure is strong is they have to put policies in China for you to have less kids because of the population. So when you look at the Somali and the black community, we don't really have that, and we basically have self-hate. So it's going to be a very long time before I understand. But you got to start from understanding yourself and knowledge of oneself to get rid of that self-hate, and then understand that you got to also love each other. The Somali women and the Somali man, they got to come together because there's a lot of broken families.
You know, but you know what it is? Like I was saying, one thing I was saying, yeah, and I was saying this to our brother earlier, like, I was saying, don't you feel like the West demasculates, like, brothers from, remember we were talking about that earlier, like, it's this fabric of society here demasculates the male, where, I'm not going to say that's the cheap excuse. A lot of sisters are going to be like, nah, that's an excuse, no. I'm saying, like, it kicks up like a black brother or Somali brother. It's really tough on them, and, like, you know, you understand where I'm coming from. So it brings that, like I say, like, kind of waffling right now. I'm trying to get my words out.
Our community's messed up. Caribbean. It's because we ain't got no fathers in us. A lot of us come from a generation where our dad, single mothers, or we grew up with our grandparents. So we never had a man. A lot of us Caribbeans now in this day and age, this time now, where we had a man that actually cared about us, and it was cared about how we're moving, how we're acting. You understand? That's why we're very broken. You know what I mean? Now.
No, but the flip side with us, okay, I agree with that. But
you are probably going down the same road.
yeah, we guys similar. So I'll tell you why. What I was talking about whether black and Somali males and all of this have been broken. Like, you gotta remember, these men come from war-torn countries. A lot of them are traumatized with the Somali male, and I feel like the child, this is what happened. They start hitting their local drug than what they used to. Instead of assimilating, Ali, you know how it goes, isn't it? Instead of going out there and integrating with the world, the man was in. And then when that started stopping, I started seeing a change in the community. Mashallah, where a lot of fathers were integrated, and there is a lot of beautiful Somali fathers out here that are out looking after their dads. But at the same time, I feel like this country is structured to destroy the African, so you know, black Somalia, you know us, like, you know, anyone who's got melanin running through their skin. So to be certain people are gonna hate that part, but I'm just gonna nip it out the bud.
Drugs in the guns is pushed in our community.
That's what I'm saying. It got pushed to it, and then it's got to a situation where, don't you feel like it's not a cheap excuse right now, because I'm trying to move away from the victimization in our community, because I feel like that's another thing we need to do as a continent, as a nation, or as a people. We do this victimization thing as well.
Everything that.
Not everything we always like, none of us. Sometimes, right now, I feel like to make a change, we need to start saying, yo, brother and sisters, we are really a people. We, you know, uplift each other more. And like I'm screaming out, more unity. You get where I'm coming from, my brothers. Where people have platforms to talk. Because you see, the other day, like I was saying, since that incident, what I'm trying to preach out, we should be having a system where, and this don't see this disrespect others, but I'm saying where there should be a Somali group of young lawyers that are our age or younger, where just in case something, God forbid, happens to our mum like that, where there's groups and stuff. And that's my whole ethos in it. It's like, come on, we've got the know-how, we've been here for that long. A lot of us are professionals now. You get me? There are professionals coming up, so there should be like, when we are doing a demonstration, or say when we are doing, you get where I'm coming from, there should be more cohesency. And then we should have, and again, this is like another question for my fellow African brothers and sisters from the community, because we feel like when our struggles happen, this is another thing, like, not a lot of other communities help us with our struggles, but we always help other communities. Like, when it comes to murders, we're always demonstrating. What happened to Sudan, we're always screaming out Sudan this, or, you know where I'm coming from. We have love for, I think we have a lot more love for others than ourselves, and that's why I think the whole identity thing with us, I think that's what's hurting us as well. We have like, I see more love.
Can I make a point?
No, we love more, like, we love someone else more than you. I will love my own brother and sister more. You get where I'm coming from, and I think Raven, it affects us all in a broader community. Do you think?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer your question, then because I said the brother wants to interject something, so you can come in a bit, sorry, brother. So the question is, yeah, so one thing I would say is, once you identify something, right, it then falls upon your shoulders to represent it correctly. So if you are from a community where misjustice is happening, you should be the first to speak about it, and the first to reach out for it, right? Because it's like, if Somali people are being mistreated, the way I see it, black people are mistreated, right? But things might happen in a particular Somali community that I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
Like there's other things you say that I'm unaware of, right? And also we don't necessarily control the media and stuff.
No.
So it is incumbent upon you to reach out and go, brothers.
Yeah, this is the struggle that I've got. Like Raven, you lot did this the other day in Tottenham. I need like my brothers, and it's sort of like, it's not like an olive branch, but it's sort of like, well, you know, where the community is all working together. Where our fellow African brothers, Somali brothers, and sisters are.
It's like
they
this.
need a little.
I have concepts, right?
Yeah.
And the concepts are inclusive of Somali people. So there's a concept of going to certain shops and just getting masses of people to just shop in there and buy out. Well, you could be from Uganda, you could be Somali, you could be Dominica, whatever. The concept works. But then I need to be talking to you to know that your mum had to shop, that we can go and shop it out.
And it's more communication, more networking.
It has to be, yeah.
But then,
one thing I've recognised is you have told me that the Somali community, there is a challenge. So even though my thing is about black collective or African collective like that, right? I recognise that the Somalis need to work amongst themselves first before they can come. Because
but the thing is, to work amongst yourselves, you need to forge an identity. And this is the problem, right?
How do you build identity?
This is the problem. Like growing up as a kid, I'm not gonna ask someone else, like the conversations among Somali brothers is not gonna be like, oh, what clan are you from? Kalamate. You don't ask those you can ask those sort of questions, but it's rare, especially if you're brought up here. But those questions, they probably exist back home. Do you understand? So that's the first aspect or strand to our identity that's been kind of erased since we've been brought up here in the West, right? That's one thing, right? The religion. Not many people, Somalis, especially the youth, are in touch with their religion. So when they're involved in whatever knife crime or whatever it is, when the solution is, oh, you know what, you need to stay up, you need to stay at home, you need to read the Quran, you need to go to the mosque, that's just gonna go over their head realistically, because they're youth, they want to do madness. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna be that kind of into it so much like that, right? So in my opinion, in my view, there's two pillars to identity: religion and tribalism, both of which in this country have kind of been, you know, they're not really that significant, right? That's just from my perspective, that's my perspective, right? Going back to what he was saying earlier, about the grime issue, right? Now I want to clarify something very quickly, right? Grime and rap, and this is when I was saying earlier about how, you know, we need to, for us to unify, we need to kind of forge some kind of different identity, which would be more kind of relevant to those growing up in the West, right? And one of the proposals I said was about how we need to create some kind of genre of music, right, to kind of attract the youth, right? That's what I said, right? And this is what I wanted to clarify, because there's a sense of confusion, right? Okay, well, there's Somali people that's doing grime, that's doing rap, and etc. And this is what I wanted to clarify. From my perspective, at least, grime and rap, these are kinds of intrinsic to black culture, they're intrinsic to black identity. But would you say that's something that's applicable to Somali identity? For me, when I listen to grime, when I listen to rap, it's not for me. Maybe there might be some Somalis that are involved in it, but for me, my angle is like, oh, that's not really something that's part of Somali identity, that's more part of black identity, black culture. So my question is, would you say grime and rap and stuff is
it really depends on how you do stuff. So for example, if you guys would come together, right, and you're doing particular things, so it starts like that you're rapping, right? Just like I said, the UK guys were rapping, there's UK hip hop, there's also UK grime, because there were certain things that the youth wanted to do, and then it manifests in the form of being poor, but they want to make beats. So they start cracking softwares like Fruity Loops or FL Studios to make beats. Well, that particular software has a particular sound. So that's a new sound that's being generated because of the software. The software didn't allow samples at that time to go in. So they used synthesizer sounds, right? The default tempo was like 120, 140 or something. So that was the speed of the music, right? And then using pirate radio to express themselves going out there. It all formulates the culture, but by getting together and doing something.
Develop.
Yeah, develop. So literally, you guys to come together.
Develop something.
And
develop a sound.
Yeah, well, literally, just by coming together. If you come together, right, the fact that you can't afford a certain equipment means your sound's going to sound a certain way, right? Then the fact that you haven't been, like hip hop created because a lot of the people who made hip hop music in the Bronx wasn't musically trained, so they used DJ kits and samplers, right? That's why you have a particular sound, right?
And that's become associated with the black identity.
Yeah, because of what it is, right? Like jazz. The only reason that they use the instruments in jazz because after the war and stuff, those were the only instruments available to the community, so they used those particular instruments, right? You know, a lot of jazz was freestyle because a lot of them wasn't trained on how to actually write music. So it was like improvisation, right? Which became a big part of jazz. Like they even say if you don't improvise, you're not jazz, right? And then that manifests in hip hop in the concept of freestyle and just rapping top of your head, right? Well, if Somali people come together and you talk about your experiences, it will actually and. Not only that, there is poetry and stuff in Somali, and I know that there's poetry, and there was
poetry coming up.
Yeah, of course, there was a music scene as well, which is less so now. But there was a Somali music scene, and I think in Canada, they were trying to bring that out. I can't remember. I think it was Canada they were trying to bring that back. So it's these kind of things. But the thing is, I was told that this individual here would like to say something, and then okay.
Thanks. I find as an observer the whole identity thing is like so alien and ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, most of you are quite young, looking at you roughly. And I think you should make the most of your lives, whoever you are, whatever you think you are, whatever you can get for yourself in this life in a fair, decent way. I can remember as a teenager reading about the wars between Somalia and Ethiopia in the 1970s, where hundreds of thousands were killing on each side. And under Haile Selassie, Ethiopia was backed by the West, and the Somalian government was backed by the Soviet Union. When the war ended, there was a change of regime in Somalia, and a chap called Colonel Mengistu took power, and he started killing Ethiopians in his own country who were opposed to what he wanted to do. And Russia supported Ethiopia, and the West switched from fighting and supplying weapons to Ethiopia to switching to supporting Somalia. And I looked at a book which I was thinking of quoting recently. I've been looking at the history of the post-colonial African leaders, right the way across, not the Muslim leaders in the north so much, but across Central Africa and Southern Africa. And the list of criminals and gangsters who've taken the wealth of the countries, right from Somalia, Sudan, all the way to Angola, right the way south to Namibia, Mozambique, even Kenneth Cohen admitted he was a bit of a crook running Zambia, is staggering. The Africans had some of the most appalling leaders after decolonialisation of the European empires. I don't think that is necessarily African per se, because I think there's a copycat tendency for some reason. I think just the same as you have black leaders stabbing and killing people, arguing over trainers. I think perhaps some youths started it because it was hip and macho to be like a video, and then it caught on because they were like the boss in the local area. And then it became sort of normalised. But I think everyone should really try and take as much responsibility for themselves. Interpret history for whatever way you like, but you can't. And you can apportion blame, but ultimately, I would make the most of your own lives. I was adopted. I'm not even from this country. My mother was from Canada, my father was from Germany. So I was adopted into an English family, so I'm only really half Canadian English anyway. But that's just how it is. And if I found out my ancestry through these DNA things that you can now do, apparently, it would be interesting. It would be like a novelty to know a bit about my ancestry, but it's no big deal.
To you, it's not a big deal. To me, I could count my ancestry.
Why? That's the difference.
No, to me, we're different. This is what I'm saying. Like to you, like you say, you're orphan. You got adopted. To me, I was born into a family. I know who my family is. I know
you
who
had
my
quite a good adoption in some ways.
I know you had and I had quite a brilliant family as well. I'm not saying, but I'm saying like to you, certain things not like I say. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just gonna nip the bud in the head, yeah, and just say how it is, yeah. It's like I feel like every time, like how you just started naming all this happened and African leaders, that's just derailing what we were just talking about. What we're talking about is our community right now. To me, I'm just trying to, as a Somalian, I want to talk like as you.
The worst countries in the world to live in.
No, it's not really. I'm from the North region, so you cannot. To you, like I'm saying, you've got an opinion.
Hold on, guys. So what is? I mean, the gentleman covered his perspective, and thank you for your perspective. But regardless of how hard someone is having it, your reality is your reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you want to find solutions to reality,
that's what I'm trying to say.
This is the point of the conversation. So yes, there's people who might live in poverty.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But right now, you're going through something, and you recognise a challenge, and we're trying to find solutions. Right?
Yeah, the solutions how I can build a networking team and thank you for the
aim to
derailing
become
of it.
president of Somalia.
I'm not gonna try to do that. You get me? Sorry, again.
So
I'm
You
not.
could aim to say I'm going to be president of Somalia one day.
maybe, but what
I
I'm saying,
wish, hopefully.
Well, you could if you really wanted
If
to.
I
At least
have-
in theory, you could try it.
I could try, well, you know.
right, that might be an idea.
Let me
but
start from my local, you know.
We
Like,
all
you know what they
say
say, Somalia wasn't built in a day,
yeah,
so
yeah,
let me start, let me.
locally.
tangible steps, right? And
Casual
what-
steps.
and the
Somalia
tangible
wasn't
step-
built in a day, you know. So,
when
step by step.
when we were describing the music scene, okay, I'll jump up there. When we were trying the tangible steps,
Thanks for that.
anytime.
No worries, nice to meet you.
We said that the grime artists were using software that came free for
I think
them,
we're
right?
tough on the inside, aren't we?
We are tough
Yeah,
on
we
the
are.
On the
inside.
outside,
but
inside we look after number
We
one
look
because
at-
we have to.
we are
You have
looking
to.
after
As an orphan,
everybody. We are
as an
looking-
orphan, you have to. But with me, as a man that comes from a family, or as a collective, I like to look at it as a collective. Like, this is my brother, this is my cousin. You're speaking. I
As an
can't
orphan,
feel
you
like
look
an
after
orphan.
yourself
But it
first.
gives me a
Huh?
sense of
Would you say as an orphan you look after yourself?
Nah, I don't know, because
you
with
look
him,
baby, you know that
like
you're
he said, I'm an orphan, like my people left me, so he's probably had traumatic, like, you know, but I'm talking as a collective, as someone who comes from a family, as a tribe, as a unit, as a people, as a force, right now. And really, that's what I just want to
I
say,
really
as
want
a
to give this
collective.
guy his opportunity. We're waiting.
But like,
We're gonna
most
give it
of
to
the
him.
time, most of the time,
Sorry.
like what you call it tribe, and it can be led by an orphan at the same time. So like the
It can,
orphan-
no,
the orphan
no.
overcome his weakness.
I'm
and
not,
just, like,
brothers.
become
I'm not. Like I said, yeah, there's an age I'm saying, yeah. If a village neglects one kid, that kid will come and burn down the village.
Exactly,
So, yeah,
exactly.
like I said, I'm not neglecting
Exactly.
him, but what it was, he came from a different angle where
Yeah,
he tried to derail the whole. We're talking about setting up a system, or how can, as a new community, I've got my bro, and every day, me and Ali, every Sunday we
It
will meet
wasn't
up.
synchronized. To
It
be honest,
wasn't
he was a
synchronized.
guest at IC3 Boy, but it wasn't synchronized. But
So he
like I
tried to
said,
derail, and I respect that. Thank you
yeah,
very
let's
much.
give my
So, brother, you can
As to
take
an
over.
identity, I want to hear your point.
Identity, right? Well, the thing is, you got to look at the origin of where you come from. That's number one, right? Yes, I may reside in, let's say, Great Britain, right? But my DNA probably says I'm African, right? So that's how people got to relook it, right? African ancestry. So if I would say this to like Somalis or just anyone in general, is look into your ancestry and find out what they were doing during that time. And when you find out what they were doing that time, you will understand your culture in that timeline.
Yes.
So you could bring it in to say the future. You understand? So when you say there's no identity, the identity there, the truth is there. It's probably
there.
in Somalia, right?
Yes.
You probably can get it through DNA.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is the time we're in.
Yeah, this
Right?
is where, you know, when I just said to my man earlier, well, he goes, I can't count. I said, well, I'm advantage where I could count to Elise, and you can, and he can.
Yeah.
By answer, I could count from my dad to another 10, 11 other guys that leads into. So when he's trying to say, oh, that shouldn't, to me it matters. You know where I'm coming from? That's what I'm trying to come from. But what happened was, like I said to you, if the culture got diluted from one angle, then it got diluted from another. Then the kids and everything mass immigrated as a refugee community, where you're trying to adapt so much. I think to myself, there's where it's lost. Where we
But
don't.
have you guys established what you want to do? So I always get things to the bare bones and stuff like.
so you know.
There has to be something where here's something I want to do.
Yeah.
And once you've established what you want to do, then we can actually work towards that. It's called tangible steps, right? Have you guys? So when people are sitting down here, you're something you want to do. What is that you want to do? What do you want to achieve?
First thing I want to achieve is all the identities of Somalia.
Your
All the identities of Somalia. I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe there's one identity in Somalia. I believe that's one of the big ills of Somalia and why we're having this civil
Even
war.
in the UK.
I mean, because you have to understand the things still spreading it. Yeah.
So what does that mean?
You can't say it's mutually exclusive.
So what is it that is to be achieved?
I think I kind of do it. Yeah, I follow. I get what you're saying.
What is it that so something has to have happened, right?
Because I believe, even when it relates to this country, I believe that as Somali male, if I can identify my identity and he can identify his identity, he will be drawn away from whatever he was doing prior to that, whatever you want to call it, black culture, whatever you want to call it. Then he'll say to himself, you know what, now I know who I am. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to build on wherever this was. Because you have to understand, culture is something that was being built on for hundreds of years. Everyone adds their little bit to it, generation after generation, right or wrong.
You're right,
I get what you're
but some
So I'm
has-
saying,
yeah.
find your identity from where you know of it, and then build on it. Leave wherever you thought you were, and
But,
grow
but here's what it is. The thing is that there's something is wanted to be done. Meaning, we recognise today in London that maybe the Somali men are not achieving. Maybe they're not looking after their wives. Maybe they're not making the
Why is it
great.
always that? No, you know,
wanna say-
a lot
I
of
wanna
communities,
say-
I love that.
No, hold on.
I start laughing when I hear that. You know that. A lot of outside guys always say that. I'm like,
I
right,
don't-
because you listen to 1, 2 females. That outside
I've
of
never
community.
heard that before.
No, but a lot of black brothers always come with that little.
I've
"Ah,"
never heard
I'm like, look at so, even in this park.
Well, hear me.
No, don't think too much. So what?
I
Because you
don't-
lot fought 1, 2 dead ones. here.
I don't know anything about that, but what?
No, like it's amazing. A lot of black brothers always, like I said,
I
they've
don't
got
know
this
about that.
fascination.
But I don't know about
Like
that.
I said, a
Hear
lot of
me.
black brothers hate their sisters. Like remember we were talking about, I've
Right.
got this, and then it's gone to a situation where a Somali girl the other day was telling me there's this thing, okay, you don't realize it. It's the fascination with the black brothers where they're obsessed. And it's gone to a situation where I don't know whether this
Who's
it's
obsessed?
like no,
Impregnating,
I'm just saying that like to get away from a sister that more looks like them. I don't
Right.
know, you get where I'm coming from.
okay.
And so the next sort of European thing looking that's not white, so you don't want to be called a sellout, is the East African
East
sort of
African,
looking sort of thing is the new sort of hit now. It's
don't
not to
know-
a situation where I'm a grown ass man, I
Somali
got a black
people.
brother, salam alaikum. You know Somali women, I'm like, then the other day I'm standing there, I've got a Sri Lankan guy saying, I'm like, bro, is that the only way you could talk to me now?
Well, what,
Like,
I
you
don't know what
like-
they're saying. I don't know. I just
like the same thing, like you say, like Somali men are this and that, and
No,
I
I'm not
heard
saying-
it from.
it's
No,
not-
just how you're saying. So I thought to myself,
Right.
to me, is this a recurring theme?
No.
That's
So here's what I'm trying to show you. Right?
okay, man.
Establishing challenges so you can create solutions.
Yeah.
If not, we're just talking in circles, right?
Yeah.
So I gave you examples like maybe you want to improve the grades of a community. Maybe
Yeah,
you
you
feel like the man, the woman
I would
dynamic
have thought that would have been a
broken
better place to start, even. You know? No, I'm just saying. You understand where I'm coming from?
I'll get where you come from. I can give you a solution.
Go ahead,
I
big
can
bro.
tell you how you can do it, right?
Go on, big bro. Just advice.
Frank, like, because here's something that's very interesting. Before I interject and just tell you what you gotta do, right? You know when the guy sat there,
Yeah.
right? He was talking about, oh, you gotta make the most of your life,
Yeah.
yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah.
What he doesn't understand, and I don't expect him to understand,
Yeah.
is identity for you is important
Yeah.
because you don't know it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now him, for example, like he said, he's, you know, even though he was adopted or he was Canadian, he could still know where he's from. You know what
I
I'm
like,
saying?
yes.
So for him, identity is not going to be that important, but
Yeah.
for you, it's going to be super important.
Yes, yes.
Now, so if I said to you, yeah, how would because like you said, like many Somalian identities, right? Is that right?
Yeah, there's many.
So
There's many, but,
Many, that's what I'm
people
saying.
are ashamed to say that there is.
Give me many,
There's
give
how-
example, man.
There's
Like-
so many. There's
how
many
you do it,
identities.
right?
There's many.
Somali
You've got the Bantus, you've got the Hamari,
Somalis.
you've got the Swahilis,
In the
you've got
UK.
No, in the UK, we're talking Somalis as general.
Well,
We're
the
not
Bahrain,
identity.
make it specific.
Are you talking about Somali identity in the UK?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So the whole time is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, kind
Wait,
of.
I would-
Like that's
yeah.
what I thought.
I'll tell you how you could do it.
I mean, if we're talking about Somali identity, we're talking about in the
This is
UK,
just some
no?
advice, right?
Why is that different to back home? Identity comes from
Just
back home.
listening to what you say.
Alright, so as a Somali,
this guy,
so you're
tell me.
Somali, right? Obviously there's Somalis all over the world, right?
Yeah.
So we have the power of technology,
Yeah.
right? That's very, very important, right? And you were talking about how there's many identities, right? First off, like I said, if you were ready to pull this off, first you got to go back to Somali. You got to find out about your ancestry.
I already do every
Yeah.
6 months, every year.
Multiple.
That's
I'm
why-
talking
no,
about
no.
I'm just talking about multiple people.
We do.
So that you get
We're
connected.
actually a good race that actually goes back. You know, 9 out of 10 Somalians.
I'll tell you that.
9 out of 10
back
Somalians
all the time.
compared
Yeah,
to
go
other
back all the time.
Africans go back, and 9 out of 10 of us speak our language. You know, there's a lot of kids. We've got a big community of West Africans and other Africans that can't speak their mother language. 10. I'm talking about a good 7 or 8 out of 10 Somalians you meet right now all speak their mother language. That's one thing that I like.
What? It's common. You're saying it's common.
It's common. We do speak our language commonly. That's you because you.
Nah, man, not in the UK, bro. I don't think a lot of Somalis.
Ali, you speak Somali
Yeah, they
fluently.
do.
Yeah,
They
you
all
probably
do.
you
My
do.
dialect.
You speak
All the
Somali.
people I know,
And bit,
Somali, they speak their own language.
moderately. But you can't.
You know that, brother,
I know
innit?
this.
You know, and then you meet a lot of West
I know
brothers.
one
What are
thing
you
is-
saying? All Somalis in the UK they can
I
speak
said
their
a
language.
vast
A
majority.
vast majority.
Vast majority.
A big majority of
I don't
Somalis
think
that
a
I
vast
do.
majority. I don't think
In
a vast
comparison to
majority.
others,
If there
maybe.
was a vast
Can I-
majority,
can I-
if there was a vast majority in the UK that knew how to speak
Let
their
the brother-
language, we
let the
wouldn't have an
brother-
issue in regards to Somali
I think
identity.
this is an amazing idea, right?
That's my
Yeah,
point.
no,
Somali
brother.
identity is very
Right?
diverse.
So,
Yeah,
One
but
time.
you're in
Drop it
Somalia,
to
right?
me.
But in the
I'll
UK,
drop it to you.
Wow,
talk about in the
Okay,
UK.
you're trying to tell
brothers,
us
brothers.
civil war in
What we're
Somalia
doing?
hasn't come to the UK. Is that what you're saying?
What, the
Conversation
clan
happening,
system?
bro.
The clan system from Somalia has been imported into the UK. Is that what
clan
you're?
system.
The
What's
clan
the
system. So how is Somali identity diverse in the UK then?
No, we're not saying
No, that's
that.
what he's
I don't
talking
know how to
about.
explain it
Bro,
to
that's
you.
you
Let me
don't
explain it
It's
to you.
not. It's not
Look,
difficult,
Can I
bro.
say-
You guys
can I
might
explain
be
something to
confusing
you?
This guy's lost, man.
No. Let me explain something to you, brother. Let me explain something
Well,
to
hold
you.
on, stop. Before we move on, we want to control our emotions, right? Because it erupts. Remember, sometimes we actually are talking about two different things, and we reacted to stuff that we don't agree on, right? Even though we're not talking about the same thing. I suspect you guys are actually talking about two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah, and you also want to ask clarity, right? And you don't want to ever be emotionally connected to these words. Now, before we get there, this brother is saying he has a solution to something that you said. I don't know if it's true or not, but let the brother land, then you can jump in about what you said.
Okay.
Alright, so
Now the idea that you
we
wanted to say.
have, like I said, just to recap it quickly, just quick summary, so I can get back into it. We have the power of technology, right? We've got social media. We could track our ancestry. We could do DNA tests, things of this nature, right? Like I said, to basically get to the identity, you have to go back in time, right? So through ancestry, things of this nature. So you got to look at the specific timeline where you would say the Somali, let's say, in your opinion, Somalian culture was very rich and had identity then. You
Because
understand?
I went back to a place where two white archaeologists, it's called Laskel, right next to Geisar, and they were arguing about whether it dates to 10,000 to 7,000 years old.
Yeah.
And there's been findings of, and this dates before the pyramids. So, and like one of the brothers here is a Somali historian. He's like one of the guys where you say you gotta look at your community skill sets.
Can I say something?
Using the.
You see that last girl thing, yeah?
Yeah.
You have to. Do you accept that not every Somali can relate to that aspect?
Because this is
This
why
something-
I know exactly what you're saying. Somali
you're-
identity,
yeah,
where you know what I was talking about, where
Me,
you've
I
got.
won't be able to relate to that.
Yeah,
You,
because
I
you've got Arab sort of ancestral
Okay,
Somali.
that's my point.
You know what he's talking about. Somali has different identity. You've got the Bantu Somali version.
You got us,
Somali's
the coast-
diverse itself, you know.
Diverse.
Somali,
Somali,
we've got the Bantu, we've got the
Coastal
Amarin, we've got the
families.
coastal guys, we've got people in the city, we've got the up moverners.
You know, it's like
It's a very
different,
sort
it
of.
varies.
So why you're right where you're saying, like, so again, Somali is diverse within itself. You know how Africa is diverse, and Africans and blacks are diverse. Within us, we're diverse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get me? You've got brothers that look like him, very light, and you've got brothers like me, and then you've got brothers that but we're all Somalian. So what you're trying to say is, like I was saying, we've got places that date 10 to 7,000 years back old.
Right.
And he made a good point. He might say, well, okay, that might be your type of
that's
Somali.
that's you.
Yeah, because I'm a nomadic type of Somali, innit? So it might be more.
But hold on. So you're saying that the particular people group, they've made a structure that's 10,000 years old.
So 70,000 years old. It was
But-
there, and it's been proven now.
But your people group wasn't there that
No,
time.
no, that's not my history. That's his history.
That might be my.
But that's that. But see, right now, when we look, I can look at my personal.
North history.
But here's what it is.
Northern
When you talk about collective concepts, right? It's about actually self-identifying through these concepts, right?
Yeah.
So the things your people did,
I wanna say-
he
I wanna
relates
say
to,
what
and the
he-
things
You don't want to come in
Yeah,
and
100%.
enjoy
I
it.
have no
Or,
issue with that.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. But
You
what I'm trying
understand.
to but what I'm trying to say is that he's more closely connected to it.
So what's the solution?
I don't understand it. Like the way he understands it, I won't understand it.
Yeah, maybe not. But
That's what I mean, innit? Like,
You want to take a seat? Shall I explain it to you? As a Somalian, I can
I don't
explain
mind
it to
him
you.
telling me learning, and I'll tell him a little. Because Somali, we still have.
Alright, you see. Because there's a conversation, it's sort of
We know each
flowing.
other very well.
Alright.
so yeah, you're welcome to sit down.
Because we're getting lost. What it is.
I'm not lost. I know what I need to say.
What I don't like is, just take
I
a
just
seat.
want to get to
Alright, get to the solution where you want to speak. Let's get to the solutions. Because we're all about solutions, my
Trying to
brother.
get the problem.
recap, because I understand the problem in it.
Yeah.
Let me just recap it.
From an
quick, right?
outside point of view.
We're in a modern day society.
Yes.
We've got technology.
Yes.
We've got DNA.
Yeah.
We can base DNA. We can track our ancestors, things of that nature. We've got social media, all of that good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we got to implement that, right? So you got to look back at your ancestry when the culture was rich, and whatever timeline it was, right? I don't know what the timeline is because I'm not Somali. I'm African Caribbean.
Yeah.
But obviously you guys will understand
I know.
around that time.
Yeah.
So you have as you go through the timeline, you understand which parts, right? You would say that was very important to Somali culture as you go through the timeline, right?
Sorry, no, go ahead. Sorry, no.
Like you mean like the deepest root?
And I'll let you guys talk forever, yeah? I just want to get it done, right? Get it done and dusted, right?
Welcome to a Somali conversation. It's been a bit difficult.
It's a pleasure.
Everybody
right? So
Sound the ball.
I'll let everyone talk. Let me just get it out.
Go hit and quit, brother.
Alright, so
Brother, remember, hit and quit. Go, hit
yeah,
and quit.
I just want to hit and quit, right? so we got to serve millions of people.
Yes.
Right? And those millions of people are going to be Somalis, right?
Yeah.
How do you serve millions of people? Through education,
Yes.
books,
Videos.
social media, all of that stuff.
Come on.
And you got to basically get the information in regards to what all cultures, it doesn't matter what culture it is in Somalia, it's all the cultures in Somalia.
Yes.
And you got to project that to the mass of the world through various ways of education or basic platforms.
Definitely.
So it could be social media.
Definitely.
It could be Instagram photos.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Instagram, it could be a YouTube.
Definitely.
It could be books. You can make money off that. You can even make money off YouTube. Self-monetizing, because you can do it off AdSense,
definitely.
Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You could do those things. If you've got the wealth, then you can even build schools about that.
Now come on.
And then that's how you really do it. And then over years, maybe generations, because they're gonna happen overnight. Then you'll find your identity, and then you can start creating what you want to create.
And that's
That
true.
is basically the solution in regards of if you want to find your identity in Somali community. That's how you do it.
And that's what Raven was
I
alluding
did
to
that
earlier.
fully.
You know,
I
Raven,
fully
when
did
you were
that
saying
with
start a new trend, start something new, create something. If the old way weren't working,
Bro, like,
create something new.
It's basically telling you that you will find your identity
Well,
on the
guys,
internet.
because we've got, if we have two conversations, people at home, the audio doesn't mix. So is there a question you want to ask so we can answer?
Okay.
Because you are new, so we're going to allow you to have your question, because you might be confused.
Oh yeah, feel free.
What's the point of a conversation?
So right now, just show some people.
I know it's about the Somali community, but I'm like,
Right. So
what's
generally, the
issue?
Somali community are trying to find solutions to challenges and to find ways to unify them. Right? And I guess what we're trying to outpick what is causing that solution not happening.
Aren't they like unified? Aren't you lot like kind of unified already though? For, as far as like, because I'm from Coventry,
Yeah.
so you guys are pretty like.
You got there is a Somali community there, innit?
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but we're
Well,
talking.
no, let's say, yeah.
No,
like,
we're
stuff
talking
is
more
there.
general of where it's to do with unifying, seeing the problems of what's going wrong and how we could, the modern age right now, adapt to new things. And you know, I'm coming from like you know, just in case certain atrocities have happened. So
You mean, okay, alright, okay. So basically, I see like on the internet, because I don't really watch TV because I think it's shit. But,
when you think of Somalia, what pops into your head straight away? War, destruction,
I think, like-
Al-Shabaab, killings, stabbings, nothing positive.
no, personally, like, I've got a bestie that's Somali.
Oh no,
So
apart
I
from
think
her,
Kenya-
you've grown up in the, and you know, you've grown up in the demographics here, but I'm saying, as a common person, when they hear about Somalia, they don't see the beauty that I know. They don't see the lush Florence and the beauty, the aspects, the history. Like I said, there's cave paintings, there's calligraphy, 5,000-10,000 years old. We've had ways, and I'm saying like we were talking about earlier, where I feel like our identity has been diluted. Whether it is, and then I'm not one of them guys, and you know what, why I don't do Somali corner and stuff like that is I'll try to get away with the your tribe, or I'm trying to prove to people I'm not black and I'm not Arab. Fuck all of that, I'm Somalian. I know who I am. I know what I appreciate. So
question of like
identity.
Black.
No,
Right?
we passed that. I'm talking about identification earlier, like how that's irrelevant. Identification, where right now, Raven and these lot started a movement earlier to help black youths and all of this. So as a Somalian, I've come together with my brothers about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So we just wanted to talk about how we could get a task force together, stuff together, how we could, you know.
Okay,
you know,
so it's just about like, because I was watching the documentary and it was about like, let's say stabbings in London.
Yeah.
And like the Somali, let's say the Somali social worker or whatever talking about, you know, what's going on in the Somali, like youth Somalis like stabbing each other and all that.
Yeah.
You mean from like that type of angle?
Yeah, I'm talking about that angle. I'm talking about like a week ago, like I'm saying 2 weeks ago, I see one of the worstest things in my life as a Somalian. I'm burying one of our young kings.
Yeah,
My other young kings are trying to stab
Alright,
each other.
life crime.
No, I'm trying to say, look, there's a kid that's dying. Sister, I think you're not hearing. Or you don't want to listen.
I'm listening.
So try here then, innit? Keep up with it. Like I'm saying, it's a situation where I see something Cho says to me. Sorry, I'm just saying.
I want to get back to the point actually, what you were saying, right? About ancestry, right?
Yeah,
The issue I have about ancestry is, if we're talking about Somali identity and we're raising issues why, you know, Somalis perhaps don't self-identify themselves as perhaps the Somalis should, right? And you're talking about one of the solutions is maybe they need to go back to their ancestry, maybe deep 200 years ago, 300 years ago, maybe thousands of years ago, yeah, if necessary, right? My issue is, yeah, if we're looking to unify, collectively unify and mobilize, are people really that committed to doing research individually, researching, you know, their lineage, their history and their ancestry thousands of years back? Realistically, they're not going to be willing to do that, bro.
We really got that in our system. With, you know what I told you, that I could count and most like Ali over there. Or,
okay, you can do
that.
Like,
no, but not you.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I already know from Khalid, I could count to 11 man down. That's already, I know. When you see when the white guy interrupted us earlier, where he said, "Oh, that's irrelevant." To you, that's irrelevant. But to me, that's part of my identity. You know where I'm coming from, Isa? Like to me, I'm not using it against no one. No. I'm trying to say, where it's the identity thing is where we've lost one way of this way. We're trying to adapt the Arab way of lifestyle. Well, we're not Arabs. We're trying to adapt this type of way of lifestyle.
I think what the brother might be trying to say about the ancestry thing. You might be able to count 11 man, and a whole bag of man might be able to count the 11 man. But out of the 11 man, do you know their biographies? What did they do? Who did they marry? Where did they go to school? What were they? Like, what sort of Islam did they run by? Like, what is it? Because you can know the names of the people, but if there's no significance to it,
I
then it's
already
just
know.
a bunch
I
of
know
names.
my uncle did something where he made a school where he's done this. I know who they
you
are.
Know that.
But some people don't. But that's the wider thing where this is lost our identity. So, brother Issa, like, where you came in is where we were talking about where we feel as Somalians we've lost our identity. Where we're like, oh, how can I say? I didn't have the pleasure growing up in Somalia. I'm a refugee child. I grew up in madnesses. A lot of Somalians don't want to accept the fact that a lot of them are traumatized. You know, a kid, like I was saying from earlier, this is one thing a lot of people don't talk about. A kid that grew up in 91, that's still in Mogadishu now, has known nothing but bloodshed and bombings. Just in 2019 alone, there's been 22 bombings, mass bombings. You know what mass bombings is? Right there, 125 people died. Right here, around the corner, 125 people died. And people have been living like that for the last 25 years. So what I'm trying to establish, my brothers and sisters, is the psyche of why are we like that there, here, Canada, Sweden, this place. And where it's starting to get on my nerves, bro. I'm seeing things where I'm seeing my little sisters slapping their mums on the road all over Instagram. I'm seeing my brothers at a janaza. We're burying one of you lot. We're burying one of our young kings. Next minute later, what the fuck's going on? You're trying to stab each other there. It's gone to a situation where I feel like if I keep my mouth shut and watch this injustice, as a Muslim, if you watch an injustice, you're part of the injustice. You get where I'm coming from? So I feel like it's a platform where I want to come with my brother Ali's and these people. But yet again, I find it hard to work with a collective of people and start to say, you know what? That's why I spoke to Raven and said, you know what? I love what Guiding the New Generation stood for. I'm not trying to copy it, but I aspire to it because they came to my ends in Tottenham. And when they came to Tottenham, I was like, right, these brothers I was watching this a year and a half ago in Somalia, by the way, and I do keep repeating this, and I was like, right, these brothers actually did their thing. It's time a bunch of us started coming in like that, because we've got young professionals, girls and guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, all over the gaff here. So what I'm trying to say is we need to establish a network where man can get young Somali lawyers, this, that, and Raven, how do you organise that? And I've seen it where you showed me something in your, and it's just tips and advice. That's all I want.
But it's desperate to go still.
No, one more and then
Let me jump in, because it's a direct
That's
question.
one question, and then I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm done for the day.
And this is the most important thing.
Tea's waiting.
You establish a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And what are you trying to do? And then once you have a purpose, you have your rule set. The reason you have your rule set is every time you try to find the solution to that purpose, try to execute it, you have the shortcomings of people actually like undermining, right?
Yeah.
So your rule set, your code will negate that. Yeah, that's what I have done. That's why the things I've running from 2 years ago are still going today, and they're self-governing because everyone agrees to the code. So if you're saying every time we try to do something, people within the community keep shutting it down.
And then it comes to tribalism,
yeah,
my
well, see,
tribe,
that's
and
the code.
and then this starts blocking certain things. You get
So the code,
for me, like,
so the code is you cannot discuss tribalism.
Tribalism. You cannot discriminate. You cannot do this. Is that how? Is that
You have to be a
rules and
rule set.
regulations?
So before a person joins, they have to agree to these rules and regulations.
But even before you get to the regulations, you said, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but you said set purpose. Now, for me, setting purpose is the hardest thing. Like, forget all rules that come after it. In order for you to go forward with rules, you all have to agree.
Sing off the same page.
That's the thing. And the agreement is what, for me, I feel like I despair in trying to find a method for these that gonna make these youths actually knuckle down and say, "Raw, you know what we're living is a real
communities now."
Generally. I'm saying what we're living is a real madness.
It's a madness.
But these youth don't seem to understand. They don't get the gravity.
Yes.
And the reason why they don't get the gravity is because look, how can you draw a knife out when someone's literally just been freshly buried?
I lie.
That means
and from a knife crime as well.
Mentally, you're not even in the setting. Like, mentally, you're supposed to be grieving
And
for
Issa,
someone.
do you know what it is? Issa, you see when man was growing up here, it was, you know when you offer someone a one-on-one, it's like this. Now, man are going like this, you see the action there. I look at these youths here, I'm thinking to myself, are you scared to fight? Or are you scared to lose a fight? Are you scared to, I don't know what it is.
Bruv, that's
I don't know what the fear of is. I look at it, it's all, it's
There's
blind.
a lot of fear. Now, a lot of people that are doing these actions, like, sorry about that, I'm going to let you talk because I know you've been really dying to talk. Go ahead, bro.
So, you know, to address what he was saying.
Yes, my boy.
Right? You were basically talking about how, based on what I basically spoke about in terms of how is Somalis going to, are they going to actually put in the work and do it? That's like, can you reiterate what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So basically, sure thing. So, gathering from what you said, and we were talking about Somali identity, your solution to that was, when we're talking about how we can unite, etc., your idea was Somali should go back and find out who they are, find out their ancestry, find out 100, 200, 300 years old back or something like that, right? So my response to that was, well, is that going to be feasible? Is that going to be feasible for the youth, Somali youth, to be doing their research, digging out their research, going back, boom, boom, boom? One person, and then what? And then what?
5 or 6 people could do it, and they can teach another 30, 40, 50 people.
They're going to teach 30, 40 people.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, what if they don't? What if they don't listen? What if they don't listen?
Brothers.
Come on, man.
Let me
You
explain.
gotta think about these things.
I would say you would at least need a minimum maybe of 25 people, or maybe even more, right? The reason why I say this is you got utilize the technology that you have, right? You don't need many people to start stuff, right? The way I know it is because I work in communities. I've worked in the black community. I've worked in the autism community, and I've just had a bag of people, and we're making change in London as we speak for autistic individuals, right? So I know I've walked the walk. You understand? I've been doing this for years, so I know, right? So if I say to you, you don't need a lot of people. Maybe in the 1900s, you're gonna need a bag of people because you didn't have technology like that. But now you have computers, things of this nature.
You can reach man all senses,
Most of that work is already done. All I'm saying is you could get 10, maybe 15 people to go down Somalia, right? Get some people, and trust me, Somalis will want to support that. Maybe even Arabs will support that, and get some funding and say, hey,
Definitely.
we want to go to Somalia and we want to find the truth. Right? We want to go to the places and know what our culture is and things of this nature and understand what happened in the timeline.
Sorry,
right?
brother.
So, I'll finish, right? So, and the thing is, look, you already got a person over there who's very passionate about this. He wants to know, you know. So all you got to do is find people like-minded Somalis who would want to do it, and I'm sure there is.
No, there is. You know
what I'm saying? So it's all it is about to come together and say, are we going to take action? That's what you're going.
No, but brother, I hear that about the ancestral thing and all of that, but I'm talking about impacting the community right now. The thing I'm talking about right now, it's like Issa saying, it impacts all our communities. It's interlinked. So just before this incident in the mosque, a week before, it was a funeral. You get where I'm coming from? The same incident. Brother's getting buried, man, them are coming after him in a funeral. It's gone to at the funeral, and then 2 weeks later, the mosque. I don't know whether it's a copycat, you know what I come to you, whether it's copycat identity or the identity crisis we as Somalians are facing. Because you gotta remember, a lot of us did flee, a lot of us that fled have had kids, there's kids that have grown up after not know, all they see is the street sort of violence. I come from a country where nothing but negative is portrayed. Because like I said to a lot of people, what's the first, non-Somalians, what's the first thing I asked them? What do you think of Somalia? They always go, war, this, Black Hawk Down, Captain Phillips. But they don't know the beauties where there's a mosque where it's got two qiblas, one facing Jerusalem, one facing this, with ancient history, things that date back before the pyramids. There's been stuff like we found, and then you know what you got.
These are Somali youths on the road that say that when they think of, this is non-Somalis saying this.
What? No, this is non-Somalis. When I ask them when I ask them, what do you think of Somalis? They're always like, oh, it's war, street crime, this, and it's and then
I would
where
say
it's
that's
gone.
from a certain demographic though.
You know, but it is like when you see people I speak to, or like you know, I ask them just a simple question, like people my age and people that are like, oh, we only seen the wars. We've only seen the negatives. We haven't heard of nothing beautiful and nothing. And we don't. I feel like we're not playing justice for ourselves as well. At the same time, with what the actions we're doing.
You have to control your narrative, don't you?
Yeah.
Right now,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Right now,
create a new narrative or
well,
create
you've got
something
control.
new, like
So,
you're
and that's what you've got to take the initiative. Like when you're talking about this, it's like a holistic approach, right? So you talk about music, book writing, and so forth. Trying to make sure that the youth and yourself have a Somali-focused-centric kind of way of doing things.
Yeah.
So if
every time I do that, Raven, this is the problem. When we start doing that as a community, well, you shouldn't do that, or then the whole Ummah thing and this thing and that thing. Yeah, but you got sorry. It is what it is. I'm gonna call it how it is, and this is what I feel like. Just for a couple of weeks, me and talking, I've tried to gather a couple of my Somali brothers. I'm like, no, sorry, brother, we're just talking about issues in Somalia. Then I've got my Aki brother saying, oh, brother, you shouldn't do that. Trying to split the Ummah. I'm like, alright, cool. And then when I try to speak to a couple of other brothers, like, brother, you lot are, I'm thinking to myself,
it's purpose.
Okay,
you understand how
you see how gang.
I'm
you see when I watched a bit of gang as well, and I saw how they were getting derailed and
but
and I think to myself,
I mean, there's a bigger thing. I mean, technically, this actually goes to anti-African, anti-black concepts that we can describe how that happens. Right? That's not for now, and that's always going to happen, right? But from a perspective, you have to care about what
Somali,
you want.
But listen though, but Raven, sorry, I'm saying I'm a Ghanaian, yeah? Now me, I'm a self-initiated into the Islamic tribe Ghanaian sitting here. I'll tell man, because when I think of Somalia, when I think of Somalis, I think of Dean. I think of a strong mother at home that's holding it down for her kids, right? Even though pops may or may not be around. I see good food. I see people with good etiquette and manners. Bro. I see it, bro. Even though the banana don't agree.
Rice and banana, bro, you're missing out. You are missing out. I'm gonna bring you next time.
I can't say it, but I will. I think beautiful women.
Why not? Why not?
Beautiful. I think about the ports.
Yeah, the ports, the seaports. Yeah, strategically where we at. And you know what's pissing me off as well? Do you know what's pissing me off as well? Do you know what's pissing me? Do you know what's pissing me off as well? We got three. This is what none of my Somali brothers and sisters like to talk about. We got three to four foreign entities that are having a battlefield on our ground now, while we're killing each other. While we're smoking each other, you've got Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and UAE that all have problems, but they don't want to do it in their country. Where they're gonna do it, brother? I'm a visionary. I see things from far. I'm one of them type of people.
Now, brother, should I answer your question now?
Yeah, and it comes to the identity.
You described the challenge, innit, right? Because you're trying to do something, and someone goes, "Why don't you do this? Why do you that?" Right? If you establish a collective, right, something that's for a purpose, meaning, let's say it's called Super Somali, right? Right? And the role of Super Somali is to only talk about solutions to the Somali people. Solutions, right? As it pertains to
problems.
So that means when you come out and you're practicing Super Somali, when someone says, "Why are you doing it?" You go, "Oh, this is what it is." Just like if you come here to give dawah, there's a purpose, isn't it? You can't go up to a person and go, "Why are you giving dawah? Why don't you give Christian dawah?" It's like, no, I'm here for this, right? So establish what you're trying to do, and in that way, because you don't have your rules and your sets, isn't it?
No, but sorry, Raven. The problem about this place is people actually just come here to literally argue. But certain man don't come here. Like you see, when I come here, I come here to discuss. You know, when I have when I chat to Shamsi, when I chat to the brothers, I come to have a discussion.
But that's why a good breakaway like this.
This is what I'm saying.
It's discussions where you can learn of someone. Where if constantly, you know, when I come to certain man in speaker's corner, it's like, man, and I'm like, bro, I know I'm Muslim, I know I'm this. I don't need to argue.
Bro, I've been here since 2005, end of 2005, 2006. Cause if you're talking WAST to me, I'm walking away.
That's the way.
That's it.
I've been here for
I'm
5
not
weeks,
gonna-
4 weeks myself. You know,
know?
everyone's trying to put name to face now. It's just I just come here to have good discussions with good people. If you're not good people, ask some of them. I don't even chat to you. Certain Muslims are Akis. I don't even chat to them because I feel they're
what the
vulnerable.
energy is. You know what the energy is.
Yeah, I'm with energy. If I don't feel that energy from you, wallahi, I'm not even chatting to you. Whether you're Aki or not. Salam alaikum, you're okay. But as far as that, and I feel like over here, it's gone to a situation, you know, because I'm from Tottenham. Like I say, I'm from north of the river. Me and Ali, look, we saying we're a bit different to the rest of the man them here, yeah, the other Mali brothers. It's like, man straight talking people, innit? And man don't do this, you know, the wassy thing and this, you know, man don't do that, innit? Yeah?
So straight to the point.
So I see one time, imagine I'm here, I'm just chilling. I see one of the Aki brothers come up to me and said, brother, one guy said, like, he didn't say salam. I'm looking at the guy, I'm like, wow, brother, is this what type? And then he wants to debate you. And I just told him, no, brother, you should just even pay attention. Just, I'm like, bro, I'm not here to debate. I'm not a debater.
Brother, what you have to
You know
understand,
what
you see this place, yeah?
Yeah.
It's an open hospital, bro.
It is.
It's an open hospital, yeah? And people are looking for doctors. bro.
Yes. Wallah, it is.
Trust me, bro.
And that's what I say to people. We have to give the, you know, the patients.
Trust me, bro.
We have to give them in doses.
Wallahi,
You
my
can't give them
pops used to say to me,
yeah.
my pops used to say to me, 2 out of 3 people that you see in London walking around have issues.
Yeah.
And this just shows you there are people here
I'm
that
mentally
are,
unfit.
bro, they're literally just they're going through the steps of having conversation with you, literally because, whatever illness or whatever need or desire in their heart is driving them to do that. There's nothing else. They don't want no construction.
Yes.
Most people are lonely
Yes.
here. Yeah?
Yes.
So leave, like, I wouldn't even...
I wouldn't even entertain
But
that. That's
what I
the
wanted to
problem I
talk
was
about
coming from.
them,
You know what my mum was saying earlier, yeah? Well, when I try to gather, you know, try to do the super Somali thing, whatever, it's the same thing. You know, you get that lonely weirdo or just come up to you, and it's like, bro, are you trying to derail everything?
Yeah.
If you're trying to derail everything, yeah, there's no point of talking. And then I have it within my own community. Some of them are just, oh no, we don't want this guy to unify and make
You can't take everyone along
do
the
that.
trip. You can't take
Come
everyone
on,
along
that's
the
what
trip.
you learn. No, I'm a lesson of, you know, I'm a student of life, innit? That's what I always promote, I'm a student of life. Every day I feel like you have to learn.
There's definitely a need though, because you're not the first Somali brother that I've heard saying exactly what you're saying in this bar. And I've only been coming this since October.
I've been 4 weeks, 3 weeks. This is my 4th week.
It's a regular conversation. So I don't know who. I don't want to call her name because I don't know who you're referring to right now.
You know, Voldemort. Let's call him Voldemort. No, there's a lot. There's a lot of Voldemorts.
I don't know.
There's a lot. Well, brother, you don't know. You only probably see one main character, but there's a lot of characters here.
In the background and that.
In the background, and then it's gone to a situation where you guys have been coming here for years and a half, 2 years, 3 years, and you guys don't even do this to the Iraq, like, yo, let's get together, yo, like I'm saying, the last 4 weeks to a month, the Somali community has been crying, my brother. It's been hurting after atrocity after atrocity. Within 2019,
we're
22
well,
bombings. I know you're crying with us,
that,
but it's gone to a situation you might have to fix my own house.
Yeah, you do.
Before I fix my house, I can't fix Africa. I can't fix the
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not Superman.
Yeah, I'm saying to man,
but it's gone to a situation where
we all need to fix what's in our backyard. Yeah?
Yes,
and if we can help you and aid you in doing so,
yeah,
we do
obviously, a man's never ashamed to ask for help, and brothers should never be ashamed to as well, innit? Yeah? Vice versa. But at the same time, I feel like right now it's like, even if this goes live, some Somali community right now, it's time that we started taking this upon ourselves.
What do you want to achieve though? I still haven't.
What I want to achieve. What I want to achieve right now,
What do you want to achieve so I can help you do it?
Just in case, you know, certain atrocities happened to a young individual recently.
So talk about London, yeah?
London, it happened in Coventry near her, where everyone did a demonstration. The demonstration was lack of numbers. As I'm speaking to the people, I looked around. A lot of their brothers and sisters are telling me, look, we don't get help from the black community, we don't get help from this community. I go, is it we're isolating ourselves? Is it because we love other nations more? Because at that same week, I see a lot of Somalians, Sudan this, Arab this, that problem, that. I'm saying, look, we got our own problems. And every time I try to talk about our own problems, I came out, I got love for all. Like I say, I grew up in a multicultural community in Tottenham, but it don't get more multicultural than that. Man's got brothers and faiths all over the background. Man don't really care about your faith or whatever. We've gone to a situation where I thought, the last few weeks I'm watching this bombing after bombing, people getting killed. Inspirational Somalians getting killed as well. Not no dickhead people. And they got to a situation where and then when I saw this thing with a girl, this started really moving me, because man's got sisters, cousins, aunties, nieces, where, alright, you're killing our kids as well. Where's our professional community? Where's all the people that's 40 to something that age that's been through this, that. Oh, where is that? Where's the cohesion sheet amongst us?
Is this all in England,
No, this is England, London. I'm just talking about London.
Really?
Yeah, this happened
So you're
recently.
saying bigger people in the community are being killed as well?
No, not bigger. I'm just saying like the whole community should have.
No, but didn't you say bigger people being killed? Because I heard you talk about a girl or something.
Yeah, nah, girl, you know, there's some girl got pushed in the river. I'm saying, where's all the people like my age that are professionals, you know, that professionals, yeah, like, you know, lawyers.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, my
Do
brother.
you think it's because there's that sense of if I come out and I'm on camera,
Yeah.
will I be treated differently by the system? You know, we got a suspicion.
Yeah.
Black people in general.
Yeah.
Somalis, So the olders, we don't know much about the system.
Yeah.
But will it try and mess us up? We fill out an application for something.
Yeah.
We saw you here.
Yeah.
You get me that?
I feel it. Yeah.
Immigration is real.
Yeah.
But they, you know what? Right.
Yeah.
That's the next thing.
Yeah, that's the next
They
thing.
just ship us out. You know what I mean? We don't know how things work.
I know, but like I'm
Isn't
saying,
that-
no, but it's what it is. Like I say, you see my community right now. Like I say to a lot of people, we tend to forget we are a refugee community. We only come here for like mass numbers. Like I'm saying, came here early 90s, late 80s. You give me a lot of things on new. Like I'm saying, this demonstration thing. Our children getting killed, pushed and saying, oh, the school's changing its name. Like, I'm just using her as an example where it moved, man. Man's got killed.
What you told me, I'll be honest, when I saw that thing, they changed school names.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm still a bit suspicious of whether it's true. I'm not trying to.
No. It's but look
it
into
just
it. No,
sounds
when you
so
do,
mad.
but look
If
into it.
that's true,
Where she got like where it's gone to a situation where I'm only moving from emotion when I see like a Somali mom. My mom passed away. Like I say, when I see a mom crying, telling me, look, my daughter was getting bullied and this is what happened to her. And then it's gone to a situation where I'm trying to wake up, you know, the generation to say, where's the lawyers? Where's this? Where should we petition? How should we demonstrate? How should we do this? How should we demonstrate? In what art forms? Or, like, you know, ask blueprints. And you know, when I saw the brothers that went to Tottenham, so I spoke to Raven today and I said, Raven, do you mind if we do something on camera where how did gang come about and what rules? And because I'm finding it difficult just getting over the tribal thing. Oh, because you're this tribe and everyone's all paranoid and you know.
Can the situation, can it be curtailed or has it gone too far now to prevent things from happening?
No, I'm saying this thing has already happened. I'm saying, say, God forbid, future incidences where there could be another sister, there could be another brother. Our brothers are dying left, right, centre. Like I said the other day in the mosque, we're burying one young king. We got other young kings trying to stab each other. I'm like, yo, this is a janaza. This is the same mosque my mom got buried in. Like, I'm thinking to myself, raw, like, come on. Like, you're taking a piss.
I would say, I think you said something like it's a Somali thing there.
No, it's not really, because 2 weeks ago, the funeral, there was a black funeral, it happened, the same thing. Yes, sir.
On the issue, you said something to the Somali brother you're talking to.
Which one?
Was it Kelly?
Yeah, I don't even know which one.
No, the video where you talked about the sister. You said,
I was talking.
I think you said, like they talk about the...
I don't really watch in depth. I think you're one of them guys, Issa. I don't know. I just put up the video. I don't really watch it like that.
What he said last.
You kind of break it down.
Huh? While I'm doing everything else right and whatever else, I just put it on. But when you spoke, to be honest, it said something about changing school and the.
Yeah. That's what the information I was given.
You see, like these other debates, let's say whatever else.
Yeah.
They're just on. The YouTube plays.
Yeah.
But when you talk about a sister dying, and people doing that, and then the conspiracy with the system. Then that's a serious something. Then I'll rewind and I have to watch a whole. So I'm saying when you said.
I got information given to me about where the school name.
Something like we're Somalis, it's a Somali community, blah blah blah. Sometimes, brother, your community don't do nothing till they see someone else's community jump on your cause.
No, that's why I'm speaking to, you know, I'm willing. That's why we come here with dialect.
In the video, I'm sure you said something.
He mentioned that though a second ago.
You know, it's not their thing. It's Somalis have to come together. It's kind of like you were saying, we have to do it and not them.
No, where I'm coming from, Asa, don't get. I'm trying to explain something. I'm saying no. You can get help. Other communities can support you. It's not. I'm trying to say it's time us, our young professionals, started using their degrees and started coming together, just in case, like, you know, something like this happens. But I'm not gonna be funny to you, Issa. If a Somali mom happens and that happens, she's not gonna run to you. She's not gonna run to Issa. She's not gonna run to Mama. She's gonna come speak to me like, Mom, Hoyo, why say you go die? Just what I'm saying. You won't even understand. So what I'm trying to come from is, where is the young community where can speak the English, have grown up here, have got the degrees, you went to lawyers, you went to uni, and you ain't doing fuck all for your community.
But that's not,
What are you lot doing?
That's not
Same
unique to
thing.
Somali community.
Where's these black barristers?
Yeah.
That's not unique.
The advice they could have been given us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Understand?
Yes.
Why is it took certain groups, no offence of white people,
Yes.
the free men on the land,
Yeah.
to tell us about stop and search and what we should say and how we should say it.
Thank you. Where's the Somali police officer community? There's a lot of you now, yeah? Yeah.
What's going to motivate them? What's going to motivate them to get together and galvanise, bro?
I don't
Because
know.
the thing is, yeah,
I don't know.
When we're talking about these young professionals and that, you have to understand, put the first foot forward first. Yeah,
Yeah.
being the first one, being the revolution is the hardest part. Once you've
I
made
know.
that step, everyone else follows. But the first person to make that step is making a sacrifice. So the question is, yeah, how are you going to reach that person, yeah, to tell them we need you to help this, especially when some people within, and I say your community and our community as well, some of these youths do not want to be rectified. They are patients. They are mental patients, and we can't make them self-diagnose themselves. They don't even realize there's an issue. How do we effectively communicate to them that there's a problem? And if we can't do that, then what infrastructure are we going to put in place to prevent these future things from happening? Because you need an infrastructure.
I think the best question is for him, because my brother's got
I pretty much stated, I actually stated this recently around the infrastructure that needs to be put in place. I was also talking about a school. The potential could be a centre, you know, a centre probably in. That's one centre per borough, you know what I mean? Probably get some funding or just start something.
So what would be the main goals and the aims of that centre?
Say again?
What would be the main aims and goals of the centre? Because me personally, I'm not convinced like a centre or a youth club is going to stop man from stabbing it.
No, it's not.
But it's not. But I think it's a difficult one, you know, because there are like I know people that are trying to address the issue of knife crime, whatever, and they have successes. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be knife crime. It just means that you're not going to see somebody that they're directly dealing with on the news tomorrow.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. So it's a thing whereby you may not solve the whole problem, but you can have an impact where you're at. Just what I'm saying. And I think, and more time, there's going to be no news for the impact that you're having. Yeah, no one ain't going to talk about it. That's what I'm saying.
But the mother at home's going to know her son's fine, though.
Right, you see what I'm saying? So my question was, and I said, yeah, and I'm going to stop it and say, but the question I was going to ask you is because you're saying that you've got problems with reaching people or getting people to kind of see what you're seeing, innit? And I'm saying, and like the tribe thing, is there nobody even of like your specific so-called tribe, that is willing to be on your wavelength?
You talking to me or Issa?
No, you.
Oh, okay. Because he comes from tribes as well.
Yeah,
He's a Shanti, I'm not gonna lie to you. Full of Africa, okay. No. Where I'm coming from, with the tribal thing is here. Do you know what's your name again, brother? Shaka. My name's Khalid. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Khalid's right there.
Call me K the Speaker. That's what everyone's calling me. K the Speaker. Yeah, listen to this here. Where I'm coming from, my brother, is with the tribal thing is like, I'll try and link up. Say me and Ali over there with two different tribes. Yeah. It gets to a situation where you start talking, and then it gets to a situation where we're trying to gather people. Someone has to start talking about tribalism, and it folds from there, and then it distrust and but certain people like, I'm gonna only because he's got that wristband or he's got this on or he's repping, and it's gone to a situation where, like I say, love your tribe but fuck your tribalism. That's the movement that we're trying to start. Where we love your tribe, I love my people, but I'm not gonna use my people like my tribalism to stop a movement where all I'm trying to ask for is alright, this incident happened, like Issa's talking, this incident's already happened. We don't know the Pacific, just all we know is police has shut down the shit. God forbid, I don't wish this on no one else here, but the next one, you know how the streets of London are moving? The youth are, right, where's the next task force? If the next Hoya, that means mum in my language, that happens to, who can she run to? Where's the organisation? Where can we mass demonstrate? Start becoming, bringing the Somali honour back and start becoming a society again. Like, you get me? Yes, because when I see, alright, new things are happening to us. Sorry, I'm gonna come to you, brother. But it's gone to a situation where I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, if this becomes again, because God forbid it happens to any, I don't want it. I'm wishing it on no one, but again, where we've got a unit where alright, cool, that's happened. We've got our petitioners. Some of us are going for MPs now. Oh, you're a Somali MP. What going with this? What happens? pushing this one. All right, cool. There's our lawyers. There's this. Got like some sort of task. You know where I'm coming from. Where you know you've had Black Panthers. You know you've had certain movements that revolutionized certain things, like how Guide the New Generation, where they went into certain areas, spoke, made people feel like, all right, cool. There's people that care about the community, and I feel like that's getting lost. Sorry, you wanna go for it? Yeah, go on.
When you said a lot of what's driving,
Yeah.
remember the psychology behind it. As soon as that passion goes for that tribe,
Yeah.
intrinsically is the history of that tribe.
Yeah.
And then the warfare.
Yeah.
The more you love them,
Yeah.
the more you care about the people that got harmed in war against the other tribe. So I'm suggesting psychologically that's problematic.
No, but
Yes
but
and
what
no,
it is,
like,
no,
yes
but
and
Issa,
no,
what
yeah.
it is, Issa, no, but Issa, see my culture.
You always said half a statement.
No, no, no.
Love your tribe, but F your tribalism.
Your tribalism. No, but Issa, what it is, you can't. You see, with us Somalis, you can't take a man's tribe away from him. It's physically impossible. It's like so love it, love who you are, but don't tribalism is.
The practicalities.
Yeah.
If somebody went to them and said, listen, you see this tribe thing?
Yeah.
Change it to something else.
Yes.
They said that's not going to work. That's just a brick wall.
It is, but it needs to be practiced. You know what I want. You know what? You know what? Do you know what it is? You see what the diaspora community right now? Where the diaspora community home? Where is this coming? Where the diaspora community is all types of Somali. Like I've never probably grown up. You know, my man. We probably, you know, us two back home. We've never ever actually sat in this. But it's like Tottenham. I grew up with so much different type of Somalis. Where tribalism, it's not your tribe's not the problem. It's the tribalism. It's putting your tribe down and I'm better than you and there's a 0.5. Like I was saying, our political system, something that Ali's always passionate about, is tribalistic, where he's majority of people.
It's not unique to Somalia.
Yeah, no, where he's you know, I like where it's where he's like trying to say I've got a less number in the parliament seat because of
brother. This has been wanting to say something for quite some time. Yeah, sorry.
So go ahead.
No, it was kind of like more of a little bit of a statement because I feel like where you're coming from is a bit of like self-doubt.
Yeah.
To me, that's how the way I see it. Because I feel like, let's say, every time you make something beautiful, there's going to be like situations that you know, people are going to doubt you. Like, this guy made a group. Sorry, I forgot your name. Rizza made a group. Shaka made a group. And of course, we have our struggles in it. But like at the end of it, it's great. I think it's flourishing. The black group is flourishing. The thing about the black boys is flourishing. So maybe you should just take some advice from them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why me and Raven. That's why Raven organised this, and he said, you know what, let's talk. Because me and Raven talked off scenes about maybe this is the way to go about it. You know, I've seen what you lot done the other day. Maybe tips and advices of how to conduct yourselves and how to get rid of foundation basics to start a movement.
Because
You get where I'm coming from?
You see about these like Somali people, like different tribes and stuff, and I'm just in my head, I'm just thinking, fuck those people. Like, who cares? Who cares?
But
what
the
they
tribal
think?
is not. I know, fuck them
Yeah, I
people.
know,
But the
and of
thing
course,
is,
like,
it's
tribalism-
enrooted. It's a problem where.
Yeah, and I know that. Yeah.
It's a problem where a kid that grew up in the West that's never been back home. Imagine you grew up in London, you've never been back home. But you're tribalistic. What? How? You see, how?
Yeah,
You're
it's
listening
ignorance,
something and you're using it against your other people. To me, I don't. Because there's a lot of brothers in here or sisters here that you speak to them like, what? You see, you've never been.
But I'm thinking,
And that's what I think, because you know it is like with me, I go home every 6 months, every year I always go back home. I'm always in East Africa, in and around that region, always in and out. So it's gone to a situation where I'm flying back home and I'm not using it. You've never been. And you grew up in England.
That's a failure on the elders then. That rhetoric must be coming from top down.
Must be.
If I'm here and I don't know about my tribe, who else is feeding me the information? The people that are running away from civil war are still carrying
Thank you, to
symptoms of the
London.
baggage.
Yeah, to London.
And passing it on to their children.
If they hear the parents talk about them, then obviously when you grow up, your viewpoint is going to be that, unless you have a brethren in school, and so on and so forth, or a lady, etc. My suggestion is simply this. You make it very clear that while you're here, there are things that are against you as a whole. You have a common collective opponent that would like to make sure that you annihilate each other or others annihilate
And you lot are a unique standpoint in that you man are all brothers anyway. You man are different tribes, but you go back to one patriarch, according to the history.
Yeah, and
right?
That's the...
So at the end of it, you lot are just branches of the same tree.
But that's where you get it wrong. You know, Somalis are very diverse as well. Like with him, he's got Arab sort of culture, and you've got a Bantu sort of Somalian, and then you've got this.
Yeah,
we're diverse as well. There's a lot of people don't.
About brothers.
Not everyone comes from a bloodline.
This is, you know, earlier when we said ancestry, you know, the ancestry thing. You see the ancestry thing you're thinking about. My ancestry, like you see the nomadic ancestry that I have. I'm a nomadic type of Somalian. I have cave paintings. I've got identities where I am. With him, he's a coastal. Like, Hamari. So it's the situation. His name's
If you look
I'm
at
here
what
and
tribe
live
is,
in my
Yeah.
it's a support network of a collective of people.
Yeah.
Right? And then you use bloodline and so on to talk about it.
Yeah.
But in reality,
Yeah.
your support network here
Yeah.
should be based upon people that have a common goal of your survival
Thank
and
you.
your success.
Thank you.
So I'm saying come up with a new tribe.
Yeah.
That's basically the bottom line of what you got to do. Come up with a new tribe of you lot here. It's as simple as that. Imagine if they
tribe.
took your backside off here, if they just left, if they cut ties with you, you couldn't phone back home, you got new generations here. You would evolve and form a community here. You can talk all you want about this tribe here, this history here. Makes no difference. We're here in England. Do you understand? And I'm saying, trust me, that's the only practical way it's going to work.
I told him the same thing, you know. I said that in the diaspora, if they get their stuff sorted here in Canada and New York and America and whatever, they're gonna start emulating. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you know the issue with that is, yeah, when you break down the tribes, yeah, how that's what they did here. The people were tribalistic people, Celts and Gaelics.
Yeah.
You break down the tribes and you merge everyone into one. That makes population control very easy. There's this one loyalty, this one undying to the flag, right? Whilst a group of elite people tell you what to do, and they've retained their history, they've retained their badge, their coat of arms, whatever. So that can, I think that there can become a problem. I don't feel like you have to give up your individuality to become a
But
unit.
then they conquered the world though after, right?
Yeah,
so they
but
got power.
that's why I say
And everyone calls them devils now.
After that,
Yeah.
They forgot about all Celts and all this other history. And the little island went around and conquered the whole planet. I'm not saying I want you Somalis to unite and conquer the planet, bro.
No.
Leave my country alone.
No, I get that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the same way how they had that issue,
Yeah.
they were dominating and so on.
Yeah.
But you can, sorry. I'm saying, just think about it. If the identity and thing you're holding on to is the basis of so many different thoughts, he's my enemy because of that and what his ancestors and these people done to my people.
Yeah.
If that's the bloody problem, then you have to become one people here under a certain banner. I can't see any other way out of it, bro.
No.
You understand?
Tribalism is it's getting to a situation where it's like really people love their tribe more than their deen. And that's what and then I start questioning, what we this or we that, and you know when I say lack of identity, it's gone to a situation where I feel like us Somalis right now in the West, even back home, haven't got an identity to cling on to.
I do agree with that.
Identity is like some people try to adopt the Arab way of lifestyle. You get where I'm coming from? That's not us.
So you're
Some
saying
people,
it needs to be a Somali.
yes.
They don't have something to say, this is Somali culture
Yeah.
and this is Somali
No, we've got a lot of that, but it's like we've lost the pride of it. You know when something's so
Oh,
negative.
you want to be part of this?
No. You see when something's been clouded with so much negativity. Like I say to a lot of my non-Somali friends, what do you think of Somalia? It's the one question, and they say war, this, that. Imagine a young Somali kid that's never been back home that keeps hearing this. You're gonna cut your from negativity. You try to stay away from it. So where you're losing the identity of what you had, and you're trying to adopt something that you're not. Like I said,
Bounty and coconut, that's where it comes from with us.
yes.
I was saying, how can man not learn? How can man not learn from the history of your forefathers? This thing here is what's now, and for me, for the life of me, I don't understand how a man can go to war, car this brother wears different clothes to me, eats different food to me, and might speak a different language, or just. It doesn't make sense to me. This guy opens his door to the left, the other one opens his door to the right. How is that a basis for you fighting each other? Now, if a man said, yeah, your forefathers killed my forefathers, yeah, well, you man didn't fight each other. Your forefathers have passed, yeah? They're dead and gone. They're his service with Allah. And you man as well, especially coming from a Muslim nation as well. You man should know that Allah has ordered everybody to be just, and dealing just with your brother, yeah, means that you don't discriminate on grounds of the fact that he's got a different culture to yours.
There's a different tribe to you.
Especially when you have to occupy the same space. don't make sense, yeah, for man to be saying, them man are and them man are Birwani and they're Portuguese or whatever, and these man are invaders and these man are Bantus, and you both occupy the same land over there and here as well. Get that
So
together.
the solution, what you're saying there, is to go back to religion.
But then again, if you all have the same religion, the religion has
always been there and it hasn't united.
But we still have the same problem. Because do you know, when a lot of people tell me, the religion, I feel like that's just a cop-out. I'm just saying, should I tell you why it's a cop-out? It is, we are Muslim, we are 100% Sunni. We're one of the only nations, or the Islamic nations. Sorry, Issa, I know you're going to start getting onto it. Time out, you hear me?
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that, Issa. It's over there. You know when you're speaking to Arabs, you're with the brothers out here, fam, yeah? Don't worry about that. Listen, like I said, a lot of men are going to slew me for that. Listen to that. My thing is a bit of jokes as well, isn't it? So like I'm saying, what was my train of thought? Yeah.
In relation to tribalism, they had that in the time of the Prophet.
Yeah.
He brought a solution. When I said the solution is to go back to religion, I'm saying
the right religion, but Islam is split up itself to so much different sectors, and that's our. But for us, but now it is. Shall I tell you why? It's come to a situation when do you believe in this or this way or that way? A lot of people have their he or she version of Islam.
But you said it earlier.
If we're Muslims right now,
the tribes, they placed precedence on the tribes over Islam.
100%.
So it's not like the Dean's been the first foremost driving thing for Somalis. The past leaders that you have, which of them have been Islamic leaders? Which of them have ruled by Islam? They've gone to socialism and communism,
dictatorship, this.
So I'm not the person who likes to say go back to religion. Like I said, I feel it's a cop-out. Even though I believe if
I'm a Muslim as well, don't get it twisted. A lot of people are going to be like, you're not a Muslim, but I'm a Muslim, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, you know how it is. Because when I say a cop-out, certain people are going to be like, astaghfirullah.
I'm sitting right next to you, I'm saying it's a cop-out. Because when people say religion, religion can be there and not implemented, right? So you can say, Islam deals with all problems. It doesn't deal with the problems if you don't act upon it. If you just say I'm Muslim and you sit in your home, and watch someone else get killed down the road, you watch your neighbor go starving whilst you got a belly full, these are all things, which you would still be classed as a Muslim, but Islam does not advocate for, right? So saying it's all about the religion, to a certain extent, it is. But I'm saying let's come up with practical things, to curb these things, because the religion is a deen, it's a way to worship Allah.
Yes,
but Allah
it's a way of life.
La tansa nasibuka min ad-dunya. Don't forget your portion of this life.
You gotta balance it out.
So each man has to put something in place.
what I said was all back to.
I understand you, Isa. I understand you fully.
You had one leaflet or something.
If it's specific.
Addressing only that issue.
Yeah.
You don't tell them to pray. You don't say stop drinking. None of that other stuff. Just specifically addressing. No, because I'm saying when you start getting into people's personal life, you say you should pray more, they'll be like, you're perfect. And they have a right to tell you to shut up. But I'm saying, when it comes to the tribal issue, especially when it goes to the point of people killing each other, I'm saying focusing on that, when they can start to think, you know what, is this really something which we need to get into?
That is it.
Because those people are on this vengeance thing. They're having kids.
Come on.
And then they're thinking, well, what to do that?
We've got 5 minutes left, you know.
Oh.
I see we have to wrap up.
That's cool. All
right.
What's the solutions then?
So like I said, we're welcome to come back next week and find the way.
Let me throw something out there, and I know as black brothers we're probably going to say it's nuts anyway. Do we need to send people into the community and make them feds? Do we need more black police for the community to police the community?
I agree with that. I think so.
Our own police force.
Where we have a certain uniform, and we have radios, and we have whatever.
And start getting into these neighborhoods and start beating up these kids.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I feel like? I feel like grabbing these little kids, you got a problem with my man, you got to put them in the gym, let them beat the shit out of each other. You get where I'm coming from, old school. When they're tired, they'll shake each other's hands and say, you know what, I'm done. Teach them how to fight.
Listen, these youths, don't get twisted, bro. They don't respect authority. So if you go up in the ends of wicked and that, they end up wrapping you up regardless.
No, that's another problem.
But what I'm saying is the uniform, this being a fed gives man a certain level of authority.
I don't think
that you have a certain station above them.
I don't think being a fed necessary. I think what it is, Do you know what I preach a lot? Yeah, leadership amongst men.
Saying, these
See,
man
leadership
don't have
amongst men.
See that back in the day,
leadership
back in the day, you
amongst
could
men.
say that these man seen as sellouts.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when I was growing up, the people in the hood had honor.
Yeah.
These youths don't have honor. They don't have that. There's not that chain
Yeah.
of command where an older says something and they halt.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
everybody gets it. So sellout or not, they're not hearing you. Regardless, even if you come in this legit sort of authentic, I used to be a bad boy, they're not hearing that.
Alright, what about this, Issa, Where I'm coming from, instead of a police force, that's true. No, do you know?
Yeah, sell
That's
out.
the
But when you're in the
attitude.
back of the van saying sell out, you're still in the back of the van, innit?
No, but Issa, do you know where I'm coming from? Issa,
That's true.
Issa, do you know where I'm coming from? Not more of a police, I'm talking about, I preach leadership amongst men. If men don't step up and start grabbing these kids, I grab this one, put them in a gym, teach them certain things, because leadership, we are lacking role models in our community, not black Africans or not. Anyway,
Alright, bro, let me jump in.
Salaam alaikum.
Alright, so that's the end of the solution circle. Next week, from 3 to 5, we're talking about black banking, the partner scheme. So log in for them, right?
As me as a Somalian, can I involved?
You're welcome, of course you can. All brothers here always welcome back here. You know this, Alright, fam.
Yo, Shaq, my brother. We need to have words.
Hey,
still.
Shaq, is it? You
Yeah,
man.
man.
Next week,
Yeah, man.
I'm in trouble with that. I'm in trouble, you man.
This my brother
You man.
still.
Next week, we'll do the same thing here.
This my brother still.
Yeah, next week we'll do the same thing.
Sure,
So,
sure.
fine, man. You know I'm sick and tired of you, man.
Come take over everything from your melody.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Leon said a while ago, did you want to take part in some debate on Islam that was happening on the Hangouts, and then it never went ahead. So I prepared a whole sort of document on stuff which I sort of wanted to kind of maybe have a chat with some Muslims about, because I'd regard myself as being against Islam, but not against the Muslims, if that makes sense.